The
video's cut out.
After the clap, it'll be synced.
There you go.
You guys.
Cooper just knocked down the Absolute Authority Volume 1 and ran like the Dickens.
Oh, I don't like that.
Hey.
Wait, what?
I should bring up the emails. That's a good point, you guys. Thanks. You're correct.
Yeah.
Because we have some.
What's the counterpoint on that? Should we bring up the emails? Let's get into it.
Depends on who the emails are from, I suppose.
Hey, look at this little son of a bitch.
Ooh.
Ooh!
Oh.
Oh, I don't like that. Cooper!
Oh.
Fucking cat.
The cat knocked over his Absolute Authority. Now you're going to have to buy another copy. I'll order you one.
Die in a fire. No.
JD ain't shit.
I'm just kidding. But I'm not.
JD's already adding it to the.
Yeah. I already rung you up. Just give me your credit card. It's fine.
I wonder
that I would probably just get the Absolute at that, or the Omnibus at that point.
All right. I got my emails up. We got people here.
Emails?
We got people commenting.
Good morning, Max.
Good morning, guys, says Max. Hello, Max Millions. What's up to all our sidekicks and henchmen out there in the Geek Nation? You're watching the Spoiler Alert Gutter Talk podcast on the CultPop Network, live streaming every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. or maybe 10:38 a.m. on Sundays. Who's to say, really? What is time?
Yeah.
You don't know. I'm your host, Johnny Destructo. With me this week is this Paya Negro.
Yo, what's up? Holla at your boy. This is Len, a.k.a. the Bat Tribble of Black Tribble's fame.
I felt weird saying that out loud. Also with me this week is Brian.
Hey, I'm here as well. And I read his shirt, and that occurred to me too. And I was like, that would make me uncomfortable to say.
Read it in my head.
Yeah.
But that's a whole anyway. And also, there's another guy.
And the cracker with us this week. A little Trisket down on the corner.
My name is Noel.
That was the best intro. You win.
He went on a high note. All right.
I read it in my head, and I go away.
Randy says, you can skim him for that, right, Noel? Skim him?
Noel?
He said skin. It's skin. Skin.
Oh, skin him.
Oh,
the cat.
The cat.
Yeah.
What about me for calling Len a Paya Negro?
I thought, or calling me a cracker.
Why would Noel be the agent of the skinning in this case?
Yeah,
he's the closest.
I'm like the disciplinarian for when you screw up. Wait, can we? My Absolute Edition is now destroyed.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
how did you have it sitting?
It's on top of the shelf because they're heavy and hard. So they sit upright. There's a bunch of them up there, and he was on the top and then just pushed over the last one like a little jerk.
You know what you should do? Get another cat's urine and spray your Absolutes with another cat's urine, and that'll keep him away from it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I have an actual idea. It's not perfect, but you know how you have that clear plastic stuff, which is great stuff for everybody out there that you can wrap around your hardcovers to protect them and makes it look really good. Could you smooth it out and then you're talking about the Brodart stuff that only covers actual dust jackets. The Absolute Editions most of them don't have dust jackets, and if so, they're on the inside. This is the slipcase that he destroyed. I was thinking put it around the slipcase, but no deal. No. No, they're folded in and all kinds of. No, I gotcha. All right.
So Robert Monroe says, "Good morning, fellas," and it's Vordex on Twitch. We have a Twitch person. We're brand new on Twitch, and someone's joining us. Thank you so much. I don't know anything about Twitch, but we're on it, so that's great.
You didn't even know we were on.
No, I know we're on Twitch. I just don't know anything about it, really. So we have some correspondence before we get to the books, and I'm going to read it. This email is called Correspondence.
Is it from ML Miller?
From the Home Data Bro. That's my guess. Oh, there it is.
Actually, it's spelled Correspondences.
Well, it's good. You got to hit the dunce. at the end. Yeah.
This is from Justin Olson. Hey guys, long time listener. Last time I wrote in was during the douche and bug regime. Been enjoying the new format of the show. I've been stewing on a few questions I'd love to hear your thoughts on. Firstly, is there a comic book character that you love and find yourself drawn to each time there's a new reboot, new storyline, or new creative team, but yet you still feel like no one has yet produced a definitive or seminal run for that character? Sometimes I find certain characters are simply iconic in their design or look, but still haven't produced a storyline or run that I can say is a must-read. Minor example, I find myself trying every new iteration of Deathstroke, but have never been satisfied with any run I've ever read of that character. Some are okay to me, and some only capture small aspects of the character I enjoy, but never the total package. Are there any characters you just keep hoping will set that bar for you, but have yet to? So let's stop right there. There's another question, but I figure we'll do this first. The very first one that comes to mind is a current favorite and has been a favorite of mine for 6-7 years, ever since his inception, Miles Morales. Oh. But I don't think that there is a Miles Morales story that I can just grab off the shelf and hand to somebody and be like, this is the Miles Morales, other than say like the original run by Brian Michael Bendis. But even within the confines of Bendis's run, there's no like 6-issue story arc where you go, boom, this is Miles. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's you know what? If I would have guessed, it would have been something else for you, because we've talked about this a couple times before, where there's a character that we love, but every time we tried their book, it's like, I guess it's okay. Like, it's like you want the character to have a book that has legs. So every time they relaunch it, you're just like, yes. But
if it's
recently,
Captain Marvel, I have one.
Yeah, recently it's been really great. Oh, you're talking about the Life
of Captain Marvel is the one, finally, the one that I can grab. It's a nice 4-issue miniseries. I put it in the hands of somebody and I go, this is my favorite Captain Marvel story so far.
Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mine, I don't know if it, I hope I'm not, stealing Brian's thunder. But
I don't think you will.
Mine would be the Legion of Superheroes.
Intriguing.
Really? Because you gave me one, Len.
He didn't like it.
Yeah, but it wasn't the reboot. They've since been rebooted like 9,000 times. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a couple of, well, I guess the one I gave you, which was the Dark Knight, the Dark Seed. No, what was it called? No,
Dark Side.
The Great Darkness
Saga.
The Great Darkness Saga. Is probably, to me, the most definitive Legion story for me. Even though I have loved some other runs, and I did love, like when they did the 5 years later run, wow, it's amazing at how old that already is. But editorial got all messed up with that, and it never fulfilled its full promise. And then subsequent runs have not been successful, and I've always keep waiting for one to stick. I thought when they did Supergirl on the Legion of Superheroes, I said, this sounds like it's going to be pretty good, but I was waiting for it to gather up a little steam, see if it would stick, and sure enough, it didn't.
That reboot one was around for a long time, though. That introduced like Gates, and they all had kind of this similarly inspired stripe uniform.
But wasn't that was off of the? I guess that did last a little bit, so yeah. But even that, think of how long ago that was. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago because that was coming off of 5 years later.
That was pre-Zero Hour.
Right. It's what led into 0 Hour. So, I mean, come on. We're talking about almost, if not 20 years ago. Yeah. So I've been waiting. And the Brian Michael Bendis run right now shows some promise. I'm still looking for a little bit of more action in it, but that's the one that disappoints me. A close second would be the Justice Society of America.
Yeah, the Bendis one has been 6 issues of groundwork for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I'm really enjoying, but you're right, it hasn't been a very like slam bam crackerjack kind of book yet. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping it gets there because it's really entertaining.
I'm sorry, Brandon had asked for the Twitch link, and I can't find it. So
Brian.
I will continue the email though.
Wait, I don't get to say
illustrating that JD does not know how Twitch works.
Yeah. Second question.
JD, can I have an answer for the first question.
Oh.
Yeah, they haven't answered.
There was such a long pause that I assumed you were done.
Oh no.
He wasn't listening to shit. Yeah.
Len, the reason I thought that you would not get mine is I think it will surprise all of you, and it may be only post New 52, but Barry Allen, he came back,
surprising.
And I was like, fine, no, surprise you that's my answer.
No, I know it's not surprising. Yeah,
okay.
no. You guys talk about how you always want to like Barry Allen, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, now there are stories like there's that Brave and the Bold team up that Mark Waid wrote with him and Hal Jordan. That's phenomenal story. Yeah. And there's like an Elseworlds that I can think of. A lot of Silver Age stuff is just cool because of like its Silver Agey style, but I'm not going to like go and reread them. So post New 52, or really post Return, but there was so little of it before the New 52. There hasn't, I want there to be a really great Barry Allen story, The Flash, doing his thing. Even if it wasn't as The Flash, I could get into that, you know? Mm-hmm. It's just something. But not yet so far.
I'll be real quick. I want to read. I want to fall in love with a Silver Surfer story.
Okay.
I love the character. I like his whole origin, but other than a handful of one-off minis, I've never fallen for a whole run or a whole seminal story.
He hasn't had a lot of whole runs.
Well,
that cartoon is cool. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, these are minis. So a Silver Surfer Black, Parable, 3 to Requiem, 4 to 5 or 6 issues. Yeah, but as for you need to read blah blahs Dan Slott's Silver Surfer, which is 35 issues. I nothing over. Same with the Inhumans actually. Just
cool.
Maybe a mini here and there, but I've never really been attached to any of them.
I feel you. Yeah, that's a good one. The Silver Surfer. It's amazing. For a long time, Silver Surfer was this is a long time ago. I'm old. Silver Surfer was Stan Lee used to keep Silver Surfer in his back pocket. He didn't want anybody to really write him except him. You know.
Oh, and for the record, I do have that Dan Slott run. I just haven't cracked it open yet. Maybe it'll be the one, but I don't know. I'm kind of.
Is that Mike Allred? Mike Allred did the art on that one. Ooh, I read the beginning of that and I loved it. Mike Allred's really good for Silver Surfer too. So yeah.
His second question is a more comic shop oriented musing. I've read a lot of comics in my time, both digital and physical, and like Len, I've evolved into a purely trades guy and will frequent my shop weekly to get trades. I have been coming to my local shop for years, and they know me to the point if I didn't request a trade, they sometimes anticipate what I want. Yet on weeks where I simply decide to purchase something to fill a gap in the collection that I'd read but never bought, I get what feels like the third degree. There's the assumption I've never read Saga or Black Hammer or Watchmen or whatever, to which I have to justify my purchase by explaining either I have read and just never bought for myself, or I somehow lost a trade due to loaning it and need to replenish it. It happens every time I buy a trade that isn't new, and it makes me want to avoid that by going to Amazon to get those. But I prefer to support my shop as I do. I just hate having to explain myself every time. Maybe I'm just being antisocial, but I've avoided purchasing certain trades because I did not want to engage in this inevitable discourse. Thanks all, and keep up the good work. So, I wonder what the third degree is. So, if someone brings up Saga to me, the extent of my commentary will be ooh, good for you. You know what I mean? Oh, you're starting Saga. This is a great series. I share my appreciation for the thing they're buying. So I wonder, do they, what's the third degree mean? You know what I mean?
I think they're picking up volume 3 of Saga. That was my read on it. And the guys are like, why are you buying this? Like, this doesn't, like, he's getting one to fill a hole. I don't know.
Or so like there's, you guys, we've all been in shops before where it's just like, oh, I want to read this thing that's really popular. And you might get kind of a, oh, you haven't read that yet. Okay. Yeah. Or like, oh, you're on that. I mean, everyone seems to like it.
Anybody, I do that to you guys. I do that to you guys. Like Noel, like, oh, I want to read this. I'm like, oh, you haven't read that yet? You haven't read Watchmen? You know what I mean?
Oh no,
but I would never do that to a new customer. My thing is always like, oh, good.
That's not the third degree. That's like surprise and earnest, like excitement. But if you're like, there are some shops where you're just like, oh yeah, I hear this Saga thing is really good. Like, oh yeah, no, it like 60 issues and it's great. I mean, if you haven't read it yet, okay, yeah, it's over there. Like you just get kind of a proto too cool kind of response to it. Yeah.
And this writer didn't sound like he was a new customer. He said it was at his local comic book shop that he sometimes feels like he gets that third degree. I think if you just to speak specifically to their issue, that if you pay attention to who it is, you may find that it is more often than not the same person at the shop who's kind of like giving you that type of vibe, and maybe you just may want to change up your hours of visiting the store a little bit if you wanted to maybe try to avoid that person. But 9 times out of 10 when people are doing that is that they are inadvertently and I don't think even unknowingly triggering their jerk gene by saying something like that to you. They don't mean to be a jerk. They probably feel like there's a way of beginning up some type of conversation. And even if there is a little jerkiness in their conversation, remember it's a jerk that is also reading comic books with you. So if you are skilled in the English language and the art of conversation, you can turn that jerky comment into a meaningful, fun, and insightful little bit of back and forth before you leave with your new purchase. Don't be afraid of your local comic shop.
Well, I also wonder if, maybe he just wants to pick it up and get out and not have a conversation. Sometimes, I go, there's a thing where if I'm getting a haircut or if I'm getting in an Uber or something, which is rare, I don't want a conversation. Like, I just want to sit there and be silent for a minute,
I don't know. It doesn't sound exactly like that for him because it's specifically triggered when it's something that he should have already read or should be reading. But like 2 things. One, it might be if it's your regular and you're there often, this person might think that they're joking around with you and you're just not receiving it very well. Yeah, so take that into account also. And we as collectors and readers and nerdy things, sometimes we have a tendency to one-up each other, but in a fun way. It's just like, I've always wanted to read this. I read that. I read all of it. And what else you got? Like you just you get really excited about it and you push on each other, but not in a malicious way. So it could be a mix of those two. If he feels like, or he or she, did they say what the retailer was? If they feel comfortable with you, that might be why they're just poking at you or prodding at you. Right. If it makes you uncomfortable, you should say so.
Yeah, you can bring it up. You can say like, hey man, like in a gentle way, like, oh, hey man, you keep bringing this stuff up. Like I've read it all, like in like a fun way, which also bear in mind, he might interpret as being a jerk. So you know what I mean?
That's my next thought is like, he's in a sticky wicket here because if he says something, then he's the jerk. Like I'm trying to figure out a nice way to say something to that person without that person thinking you're a jerk, and just being like, oh I've read.
I think I know.
Like, oh yeah, I've been a fan from way back.
I think I know. So we'll play act. Who wants to be the retailer? That's a jerk.
How about the retailer?
I'll be. Oh yeah.
Oh, they're there.
You were just saying how much of a jerk you are.
Yeah, JD's the jerky retailer in this instance, and I'll show you how to do it. All right. So, hey, I was thinking of reading this Saga book. Everyone talks about it.
You're a fucking idiot. Get out of my store.
Your face is a fucking idiot. I'm gonna leave. That's it. Just
done.
Your face. Yeah. Your face. Fill in blank.
Yeah.
People don't know how to respond, and it'll just be like, okay.
Your face. Yeah.
The more non sequital it is, the more non sequital it is. Like they'll say, "Hey, here's a coffee." Your face is a coffee.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do even more.
You haven't read Volume 3 of Saga yet?
Your mom's Volume 3.
Yeah.
We saw.
And you still haven't read it?
Yeah. It's your own mother, and you still haven't read it. You're a terrible son.
I'm an absentee child.
Thank you so much, Justin Olson. I'm sorry that we were little to no help in this particular situation, but email us again and let us know how it goes.
If anything makes you uncomfortable, take yourself outside of the situation. Period.
We have another correspondence. This is called Just a Thank You Note. Hi, leaders of the Geek Nation. Whoa. I don't know if you guys knew this. We're the leaders of the Geek Nation now.
I didn't.
Like a
longtime listener from France.
Ooh.
Throughout the different evolutions of the show over the years. After listening to the last shows, I just wanted to send you a quick thank you note to tell you guys, bravo! I'm really enjoying the latest phase of the show. The reviews are great, and I especially appreciate the gutter talk discussions around representation and the hashtag Comicsgate issues. Keep up the great content. Live long and prosper. Kristen Ung at geekomag.com. GeekleMag.com. Go check out his website.
Great.
That wasn't him. He didn't tell me to tell you to check out his website. I just figured he included it, so maybe go check it out.
Yeah, why not? Can you? Would it be easy enough to write it down there on the thing?
Yeah, I could. Someone talk.
We'll vamp while he does.
Thank
you. That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are conversations. Really cool. These are conversations that we like to have. So.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, after we got done that particular one, when we got off, I was like, and a number of us were like, "Oh, did we really nail that? Did we really nail that one?" And we didn't think we did, especially on the sexism aspects of Comicsgate. So I, for one, appreciate that you got something out of it. Maybe another time we'll try to do a better job, even better. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to this week's books. Noel made the
comic books.
Yeah. Books.
Beautiful stinger, Len. Thank you so much.
I like that you started with the word books. That was an unexpected. Yeah.
We're going to start with Thor #6 by Donny Cates and art by Nick Klein. The Death of King Thor. The Black Winter has the power to reveal the means of any person's demise. And if the vision is true, Asgard is going to need a new Odin son to take the throne. But Thor is no mere herald or king, and even the death of all existence should fear his coming wrath. This book is so goddamn good. What, Brian?
How many other Odin sons are there?
Yeah.
Balder, 2. I guess, right?
Yeah,
Loki
Balder
was adopted.
and
Loki. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, you have to call the other Odin siblings in.
Yes.
This is just fantastic. Last night, before going to bed, I caught up on issues 4, 5, and 6. And every issue is better than the previous issue. I'm really enjoying this run by Donny Cates. He's doing some interesting, fun stuff and some fun reveals that I thought were really cool. What are you guys thinking of it? Len?
I thought that Thor #6 was first of all, a beautiful book. This is a gorgeous piece of comic book artwork in here, man, by Nick Klein. I believe is the artist of the book. Just from the opening page, first of all, like so many comics right now, they almost all lead into like a big double page spread, and I think it's trying to give like a very cinematic view to the story reading. And this one nailed it. I mean, it opens with this beautiful image of the Silver Surfer Black now. And as you read it, he has a conversation with Thor that you can feel like if you were reading it in the comics, it would it's just ends on like this intense close up of Thor, where you could see him just all battle weary and drunk, as he says, with ale coming out of his mouth, and then boom, right to the credits. The credits are right there. Like, I can literally see it in the movie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then cut to the next scene. It was just a fantastic scene of Galactus as you have never seen him before. I thought this book was, without even knowing much about what happened before, and I know a little bit because I wasn't following every issue, but without knowing much, I was able to pick up on what was going on. I thought the artwork was fantastic. The storytelling was beautiful. It matched the intensity of the artwork. It was just great. This was a Thor to champion. I loved it.
Brian.
Me? Yeah, I felt the same. So I did the same as you, JD. I think the last one we reviewed was issue 3. So last night I read 4, 5, and 6 to catch up, and it was great. This individual issue was great. The art is amazing. Just noticing these cool hanging balls in Thor's room there that lights it up. That's cool. I totally agree with Len about that opening, and it's this giant story, with Thor being like, he's larger than life, going up against these even larger things in this story. And it's great. This scene where, with what happens to Galactus.
Yeah. How hard do we want to spoil this?
Well, my light was in the way, so. My one issue, and it's not even with the main story. It's that they do at the end. It's like, now you will see your true end, Thor. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not his true end.
Nah, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. That's not going to happen.
Stop being a jaded comic book reader for 1 second and just think about it like, ooh.
Well, but here's the thing. I love this issue still. So,
I meant like, but I meant more like we know that the publishing cycle will not allow for. I mean more like,
right.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah, like how's he gonna get out of this one?
Yeah.
He'll get out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So to talk about the thing that happens to Galactus, apparently that was spoiled. It's all over Twitter. It's a big deal. And then Noel comes in because I hadn't read the issue yet, and he's like, "Did you see? Did you see?" And I said, "Yeah. I mean, I know the big thing that happens." And he goes, "No, you don't. Everyone thinks that the big deal of this book is the thing that they spoiled. That's not the big thing." And then I got to the end of the issue and I saw the big thing and I was like, "Oh, that's neat." And it's the splash page at the end.
Oh, that was cool too. Yeah.
So, to Len's point, the thing that they're doing now with some books, like the title sequence, like the cut to black title sequence. Here's the credits after like a nice cold open. Cates does that for his like a bunch of issues that are like important. He will do that where he'll just like cut to black and like a title sequence. He did that with Guardians a couple of times and then with Absolute Carnage a couple of times. And it's really effective. Like it cuts a scene really, really well. Like being able to use the format, like taking something that's filmic and it's not necessarily a 1-for-1, but it really, really helps with like breaking a scene or putting a giant exclamation point or period on it and then transitioning, which is really fun. But what I like the most about this and this run so far is that it feels so incredibly comic booky in like the best possible way. Like the writer and the artist have this confidence to just call their shot for 2-3 years from now or a giant run. Like the end of this issue is like the breadcrumb for a story that they're probably going to build over the next like 4 or 5 years. And we don't really get to see that shit anymore. Like it's a work for hire industry. Yeah. So the fact that a writer is so confident enough to just be like, you think this is cool? Wait till you see what I'm building up for the next 5 years. Yeah. And we're going to destroy Thor. Like, I just think it's so incredible. And a bunch of the stuff that was in that, splash page teaser at the end, it's like not Thor related shit, but it is some Thor related shit, and it's just I can't believe people haven't thought of that before because it seems so on the nose and stupid, but kind of great. I loved it. I loved every line of it.
Randy says, "Can Donny Cates ever not put Thanos in something? This wrapped up great." And then ... What's wrong with Thanos?
Maybe
so we're spoiling
overuse.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Oh well,
I mean,
yeah.
But to be honest,
well, he's in it. That's all that has been said. He's there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that read to me, without knowing most of Danny Cates, writing history or anything like that, that read to me more of like, because of what is also represented in that splash, more of a overall editorial thing as opposed to necessarily what he plans to do for Thor. So I didn't so much mind that. But to Noel's point of having a writer now have the confidence to like just slowly tear apart and rebuild a character or rebuild their character or to I just lost my train of thought because a note just popped up. It's somebody whispering in my ear.
Just keep going.
And I'm trying to keep it going, and I'm also trying to like adjust. It's crazy what happens. All these gremlins that are in my life. But when a writer
I've been called worse.
The confidence to do that, knowing that they're going to have the time to play around with the character, that's how you build definitive runs of a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is what has been missing. You put a writer or a creative team in place, and then you let them cook and you let them simmer. And if it's going askew, if you're a good editor, you try and like tweak it a little bit. But you give them the time to work things out. And that's how you have books of Thor that people love. People love Jason Aaron's run of Thor. People are loving Donny Cates' run of Thor. And you can go to those shelves and pick them up. And I think Thor is a character that lends himself to that as well. So,
it's
cool.
like some of the background of it too is like this is going to come to fruition because Donny Cates answered a bunch of questions on Twitter. His exclusive with Marvel is till like 2023, and it's if he doesn't re-sign up, and he's going to be on Thor for the majority of it, of those like 3 years. So this is really exciting stuff.
All I can think of is, thank God Cy Spurrier didn't do something like this on Hellblazer.
Something we haven't seen from Thor in a while. Like it's there in his history is the like sci-fi fantasy aspect, like having the Asgardians be in a sci-fi world and also still fantasy. It feels like for a while it's just been the Norse mythology stuff and going harder into fantasy. Even to the point that his hammer now is back to metal with a leather wrap rather than the trees.
Sigil?
Yeah. But I like that. I like that aspect of Thor. The like those guys as part of science fiction too. And it's cool
cosmic entities. They're essentially
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to much more of Donny Cates' Thor run. I think this is a bucket of fun. And this is, I never cared about Thor one iota until Jason Aaron's run. And I may actually be enjoying this even slightly more. Next up, Wonder Woman Dead Earth #3 by Daniel Warren Johnson. As the biggest and deadliest Hydra converge on the final fortress of humankind, Wonder Woman prepares to make the ultimate sacrifice to save humanity from the fury of Themyscira. Don't miss the conclusion to this critically acclaimed DC Black Label series. We didn't miss it. We read it, and we're going to talk to you about it now. This is great. Every single issue of this series, I think, got better and better and more metal as hell. And I've been telling everyone to read it. And I'm not sure I think it wrapped up in a way that was wholly satisfying. I think it was still pretty great, but it just didn't have the oomph of the first 3 issues for me. But it's still like all told, all 4 issues is going to be an amazing collection to put into someone's hand. What'd you guys think? No,
this was this wasn't a, like, there's a battle and there's action, but that wasn't the climax of this story. The story's climax was actually a little bit more of an emotional redemption. So we found out exactly what she did, Wonder Woman did, to her part in all this, but then also how Batman, the Batman of it all, hundreds of years in the past when he froze her, built in the means of her redemption.
Yeah. So
this was like the climax itself was the choice that girl made, not necessarily the power to defeat. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the part I liked the most about this issue. After, like, the coda of it all, with Diana having to explain what she's going to do with her rediscovered power and not having a very good answer, which I thought was really, really human. Like, I can't promise that won't fuck up again. Like, to me, that was the whole kind of bit of it that was really impactful, and I really liked a lot.
Brian.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. Len, I know you haven't read it. Do you want to? I'm just like, how much do we want to say about things that occur?
Go ahead. It's fine.
Okay. I really enjoyed it. I loved the art, and this isn't even the kind of art that I find myself being more drawn to it as time goes by. I don't think I've wanted to get a trade of something in this way for a long time. Like, I want Doomsday Clock. Doomsday Clock was a cool superhero story, but this was just like, this story is great. It's a fun alternate thing, and it's just so well. I really did like the ending. I liked also, I saw a commonality when Batman, he goes, after he's done that with Wonder Woman, he goes up to the ruined mansion and he has a drink, and he's got purple gloves on too, like it's Detective Comics 27. And I read it as he's sitting in the chair where the bat flew into the window, and that was where he decided to become Batman. I thought that was awesome.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. The art is so dynamic and expressive, and it puts you in this world so much. I love how the Trinity is represented too, both in her costume and the Superman robot. I read 3 and 4 both last night. The moment that I was really thinking of, Len, was that emotional moment at the end where she gets her bracers back, and they don't always do this, but sometimes they say her bracers are like holding her back so that she can control her power. So at the end, she gets one bracer back, and the girl asks her, like, well, does it work with only one? And she says, no. And it's kind of like, I'll still have to keep going, but this is a symbol. And it was such a poignant moment that I loved it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Taking the skull and spine of Kal-El in order to create a, what's it, a mace?
Yeah.
Like a mace and chain?
Morningstar? I don't know.
I don't know what those are called.
Yeah. It's the thing on her whip.
Either way, I thought about it for a second. I was just like, okay, so it's the magic lasso that's like wheeled into the spine and the skull of a Kryptonian. Yeah. So it's probably like a steel cinder block, or like it has to be incredibly strong.
Yeah. And what crazy gonzo action, right? Like, it's just, there's so much. And those lines when things are moving really fast and hard, how he kind of blurs his lines. Great.
You need to read Murder Falcon.
I'd have not heard of it.
And it's emotional.
Yeah.
So basically, Murder Falcon is it's a creator-owned project from Daniel Warren Johnson, which is where I first, I think, glommed onto his talent. So basically, there is a character who is a heavy metal guitarist, and his band had broken up years ago, and there has been tragedy in his life, and so he finds that there is an other dimensional Falcon character with a huge red bandana and a giant bionic arm, and through the power of heavy metal, they fight other interdimensional hell demons And then there's also an emotional sort of bookend to it.
Yeah, so his playing fuels the big crazy battles.
Yeah.
And every musician has an avatar. Like
that they create by their music.
that are powered. So like these monsters existed already. They just were on a different plane, and then through the vibrational frequencies you're playing are like fueled to power on. It's just ridiculous.
That sounds
It's called a flail, says Dominic.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Hey, Dom.
I think I want to say that he got the idea from Scott Pilgrim versus the World when the two DJs are playing, and then Scott Pilgrim and his band, and then the two giant sort of digital monsters come up and fight each other. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
I know. Yeah,
I do.
I like it. It's cool. Yeah.
And then Christopher Goodnight says, also read Extremity.
I have it over there.
I don't know Extremity. Same kind of deal.
So
it reminds me. This is just an interesting choice. You can't see here, but he puts the letter D, and then it is like falling down. There's so many just like interesting artistic abstractions.
I thought that was I almost feel like that was a music cue. What is the D note? Is it a descending note like the?
I don't know. And what the rest of it is, if it's something, I don't know.
That's what it is.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's this, talking about the speed lines that Brian was just discussing. I'm seeing a pull towards that in modern storytelling. I'm going to show you a close-up here of the skull, and it's basically a technique of not giving the object an outline, but the outline is created from speed lines to really give it motion. And I am a sucker for this. I first started seeing it in James Herron's work. Who they're sort of the same, I think, school. Daniel Warren Johnson and James Herron, and they're both excellent artists. So yeah, I'm glad that this is finally done. I hope it's going to be in a collection soon. I'm sad that it's over, but I'm glad that there will be a collection that I can put on my shelf and look at all the time.
I can't wait for it.
I'm sorry, Len. Did you say anything? Did you read it?
No, I haven't read it.
Okay.
I didn't read the most recent issue. I read the first two, and then I said I want to collect this, so I have kind of like stayed away.
All right, Empyre X-Men #4 by John Hickman and Jorge Molina. Aliens, plant men, mutants, zombies, old women, demons, explosions. 3 issues have more than you ever dreamed to ask for, and then some. That is a really good description from Diamond Comics. I like that.
Yeah.
Noel, you've been all over this book. How did you feel about it?
On the other hand,
is he frozen?
He could. Is he coming back?
Brian, what did you think?
All right. I liked it as well. I thought it. I also liked it, and I thought the way that it wrapped up. Oh no, I barely got into it. Please, I cede the floor.
No, go ahead. Oh, he can't hear us?
Oh.
No, you can't hear us?
Wait. Now I can.
All right.
Now I can.
You go.
What do you think of
I'll
the book?
go after you.
Oh,
all right, here we are. I think he's just sitting like that.
Oh my god!
Wow. I seriously thought he was joking.
No, this is the goddamn universe that's messing with the internet when you guys finally read the fucking book that I've been asking you to read for the past like 2 months.
Brandon says, "Good point, Noel."
Eat it, Brandon. Go away.
Don't go away, Brandon.
Take a pause.
No,
anyway,
what did you think?
The book. It was great. Did everyone read it? I didn't hear the answer to that question.
We didn't hear you ask it.
Did anyone not read the whole thing?
Like the whole book? I read the whole book.
No, I mean like issue 1 to 4.
I read it all.
Because I forgot to read this one. But I will say that 1, 2, and 3 were awesome. Each issue had a segment or a bit of dialogue that I went, "That's great." And I was surprised to see that each issue is by a different team entirely, except for the last issue, which is a return to, I think, Hickman.
It's the entire X team. It's the entire X room. They all jammed on this book together, and Hickman did the first and last issue. I've explicitly not talked about this book because there are so many damn surprises, and it's amazing. The fact that it starts with the Scarlet Witch trying to resurrect the entirety of Genosha.
Yeah.
And how terrible that goes. But then in this issue, which you haven't read, it completely double backs and gives you what immediately transpired after her resurrecting them. Mm-hmm. And then fills into what's happening on the island now. So that was like 29 days ago.
Doctor Strange trying to help her out, right?
Yeah.
But I got that far. Yeah.
That was a cool setup for like how it's all going to wrap up. It's like this book was never about. It was about the fun journey. So who cares what the solution to all of this is?
But then it takes a break midway for about 5 pages to focus on a conversation between a resurrected mutant and a zombie mutant and the existential problem that they're in right now.
Well, yeah,
and it literally took its time.
Yeah, the cool thing about that is that the zombie mutant and the resurrected mutant are the same mutant, which I thought was awesome. Yeah. Basically, you've got this zombie this poor mutant who was killed during the Genoshan genocide, and because the way things are with the X-Men right now, they're resurrecting everybody. You had the same soul, or I'm not even sure how it pans out, but I thought it was really cool. That whole exchange was probably the best part of the book.
Yeah, I like that. But that's why this series is so. This is the best. I'm sorry, this is my favorite X book.
I didn't realize. Brandon says, "I love that they brought back the worst X-Man." I didn't realize that this is the same character as that miniseries, The Worst X-Man.
Yeah. I only know that because I read it someplace else on the internet when they brought him back. Yeah. So, so for anybody who hasn't read The Worst X-Man, the beginning of the story is basically this kid discovers that he's a mutant. His parents take him to the Xavier Institute to get checked out, and Professor Xavier says, "Yep, you're a mutant." And he goes, "Oh, that's awesome. What's my power?" And he's like, "You can explode." And he's like, "Oh my God, that's amazing. I can just keep exploding over and over again." And they're like, "Nah, dog. You explode once and you're dead. That your power, if you ever use it, will murder you." And he's like, "Oh man, this sucks. Oh God damn it. What a terrible." But you know what? On the bright side, I still have my family. My family's here. My family loves me. It's going to be fine. I just, I won't ever use my mutant ability. And then I believe his family gets stepped on by a sentinel immediately after that. So then he has to get brought in to the Xavier Institute. So it's a very surprising and fun little mini series.
As was this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This was literally this was my favorite X book in the last month and a half. It's hilarious. It's so well done. I am shocked that it's 5 different writers over the course of 4 issues because it is consistent and wonderful. No. Yeah. This reminded me of. I know that you. I think Brian liked it, but JD, you didn't. When Hickman was doing the New Mutants, and it was a comedic book. It wasn't billed as such, and it was surprising that it was, but it was super jokey, and that's essentially what this whole series was, and it was just fantastic.
It's not that I didn't like. I like a good funny book. It's not that I didn't like the humor. It's that I don't care about mutants in outer space, and that particular group of mutants.
Either way, like it was a surprise. Like it wasn't expected to be a humorous book in space, and this is
and
the
they
same tone,
flip back and forth.
Yeah.
JD, we did have, I believe, last week we said you hadn't read Marauders, and we're like, all right, next week we're gonna see if you have read it, and I can tell by your expression you have. What did you think?
I have so many thoughts on the last issue of Marauders, and I would super love to talk about it at length with you and share my thoughts. But we're just running out of time. Dark Knight's Death Metal Guidebook #1 came out this week by Scott Snyder, James Tynion, Chip Zdarsky, Becky Cloonan, Priest, Doug Mahnke, Dan Panosian, Eduardo Riso, and Carrie Randolph. Earth is turned upside down, shrouded in a realm of darkness after the Justice League's defeat by the cosmic goddess Perpetua. Now, the Batman who laughs and his army of Dark Knights rule the planet, wreaking havoc on humanity and raining destruction on the world. As Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, and other heroes fight to survive in this strange new landscape, one cloaked figure has been observing from the sidelines, creating a guidebook to this new world and its evil leaders in the hope of forming a plan of justice and penance. This issue showcases the new factions of Earth and explores the mystery of what happened to our heroes after their battle with Perpetua. This was mostly great. I think the first half was really, really strong and engaging. I thought the last half was just fine. What did you think, Len?
I think that what I really want to hear about is what you thought about Marauders, JD.
I didn't read it.
Well,
Son
it's
of a bitch.
No, I thought that this was, it was cute. There were some stories that were cute about it.
Yeah.
For the most part, it was just a moment in time. It was kind of like a press pause on this whole, dark metal thing. I thought that it was, I got to be honest, I thought it was a waste of time. I thought it was some good art. I'm not going to knock it. It was some very gorgeous art. And it's kind of cool to check in on Wonder Woman, Poison Ivy, and Aquaman if you give a hell. And, oh my God, Harley Quinn has a hyena, one large enough for her to ride. But other than that, and they brought back, what's his name? Who's the guy who's reading everything? Who's got the cloak?
Luthor.
That's Lex Luthor.
That's Lex Luthor.
Yeah. I thought it was. I didn't realize it was him for a while. I thought it was Destiny. Is that who you?
That's who I originally thought it was, but then I peeped that it was Luthor. I just didn't care. I thought it was a pretty book, but I thought this was just like easily could have just been one issue, little pause. In a miniseries, it didn't need to be a standalone. I thought that was. I think that's a waste of time and bilking your audience a little bit. That's what I thought.
So the first half of this book that JD mentioned was fun.
Yeah.
Is essentially just what happened at the end of the Justice League run into the beginning of Death Metal,
which felt important to know.
So it was nice. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Fill in some gaps. So that I really liked. And then it was hit or miss for the rest of it. Like, I loved looking at the Becky Cloonan one, but I didn't care.
Was that the Aquaman?
That's Aquaman.
One? Yeah, that art was awesome.
The art is awesome. Can't knock it.
Yeah.
I really, really liked the Poison Ivy one. Yeah, with Vita Aiello and Dan Panosian.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really liked that. But other than that, like, this wasn't a waste of time. It was just like, all right, that's cool. 3/4 fun. Like, I didn't feel like a slog like sometimes it does with these minis or collected. Like, what are these called?
Like an anthology.
Thank you, anthologies. Yeah.
Especially when they're tied into something else. Like, Aquaman's not saving the day here with his sea ghost or whatever. Like, that's not what's happening. It's going to be how he doesn't save the day. So they sometimes can feel like treading water, which he would never do. Sorry, no. Was that the end of your review?
Yeah.
Very good. I realized that I wanted to. I was worried that I was stepping on your thing.
No, not at all. There was a.
Yeah, I'll worry about something.
It was for an anthology. It was more full than empty.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I agree. I enjoyed getting that backstory on how the world got from that last issue of Justice League that we saw them running into the door into this. I was fine with Death Metal being like, some crazy stuff happened. There may have been a whole just reality altering event, and that's why it's here. And you don't need to know because this is just, we're in the midst of a reality alteration.
that is a question, actually. So what is the name of the council of
the Quintessence?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
So they gave them a door to walk through. I don't know what that. I don't know what that was at all. They gave them a door to walk through. They walked through that door, but all it did was skip some time for them because while they walked through that door, all fucking hell was breaking loose, and all these Batmen were taking over the world and then reshaping it, and then the heroes walked from the other side of the door, and it was just like, oh, we lost a lot.
Yeah.
So like it was just a time jump.
Yeah. Whereas in the book, it seemed like it was a reality thing, right? Like a reality change. Sorry, JD.
Well, with the end of the Justice League, they were just talking about where they walk through the door. The reason they lose is because they bank on, I guess, the goodness of humanity and how the arc of the universe always bends towards justice, supposedly, and it turns out their faith was misplaced, and all of humanity was like, nah, doom. We're gonna be a bunch of dickheads, and so they were like, well, I guess we'll go through this door since we lost, and then that's how they get here, right? Is that sort of like how it happened, Noel?
Something like that. Like it was apathy was the thing for no justice, but it was fear based. So they made a whole big point about how they.
What is that?
What's what?
You don't hear the vacuum cleaner?
I hear it, but it's not me.
I hear it. I think it's me, but I'm like coming through this headphone. I've been hearing it for a little while. I think it's like a weed whacking outside or something.
Whacking?
Yeah. It's a whacking of weeds.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're trying to say, if that's what the point you're getting at. Like the fact that doesn't matter what you do, apathy and fear will overcome hope and determination. I don't know.
I think it was just a commentary on the state of U.S. politics currently, but that's just me.
Then they walked through a door and they came back and it was 300 times worse.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I for one hope they win in the end.
Yeah. Unlikely, but we can hope.
I also really enjoyed a lot of the other stories. What was it? The Harley Quinn one was fine. I liked the Poison Ivy one a lot. I thought the art was good, but the story also was cool. The Wonder Woman is like the worst criminals, but she's like, it's worse outside of the prison. I'm doing you a favor. And the Batman and Jonah Hex one was fun. The also cool art and just like a little backstory.
Action Figure Expert's going to give you a weed whacking.
No, please, no. It's creating this problem.
I think it's pronounced weed.
Weed whacking.
It's separated. Weed whacking.
Weed.
Before we move on to the next book, Dark Sage 9117 says, to be honest, I'm very excited to see what the MCU will do with the X-Men and Deadpool going forward. He's talking about the movie universes and to see what the MCU is going to do now that they can incorporate Deadpool and also the X-Men. I'm curious to see what they're going to do as well. I have no idea.
I don't think they'll incorporate anything. They'll just restart it. Deadpool will be alone in his own thing and have nothing to do with the MCU, and they're just going to restart the X-Men in the MCU.
Yeah, that sounds likely.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to do anything with those legacy characters.
Yeah,
actors.
Which I'm fine with because I'm done with the X-Men movies.
Yeah, they haven't been good since Logan.
Yeah, agreed.
Wait, was Days of Future Past before or after Logan? I liked Days of Future Past.
That was before Logan, I think.
That was before Logan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was Wolverine's last movie, right?
Yeah.
It was. I still haven't seen it. I don't know why.
You haven't seen Logan?
I know. Don't give me the third.
Rewatched it. Yeah.
You haven't read the third volume of Saga yet?
I also have not read that. I've got to get into Saga. Oh my god.
Join the book club.
I'll tell you, Brian. It's a good thing you brought that up, which you didn't.
Right?
I brought it up. But Saga Volume 1 is going to be on our book club not this week, but next week. We have a book club every other Tuesday night at 8 p.m. We meet on Zoom, and there's like 10 to 20 of us, and we meet and we talk about the book. We have chosen Saga Volume 1 for the next meeting, and then Black Magic Volume 1 by Greg Rucka and Nicola Scott will be the following book club. And then in between those book clubs, we will have movie club. This upcoming Tuesday at 8 p.m., we will be talking about Peanut Butter Falcon, starring Shia LaBeouf.
Yep.
Yeah. So
sounds like you just made that title up right now.
It does. And also that actor's name.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you got Shia LaBeouf right. Yeah.
Yeah. Christopher Goodnight says, hot take, Logan wasn't that great. A hot take means bad take, right? Like a hot take means I'm absolutely wrong. Is that what that phrase means?
Like, here's some ice cream.
I know. Brandon says, who's we?
Who's we?
He's referring to you when you say we are having book club.
Oh, my comic shop, Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex. I host a book club and a movie club, one every week. And Robert says, Age of Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix movies shat upon my childhood, but Saga is money sign, money sign, money sign, money sign.
It's very expensive.
Yeah. It's expensive.
That's a turnoff. Yeah. And
it's $4 in Yelp. It's very expensive.
All right. So before we get on to the Gutter Talk segment of the podcast, wherein we will discuss DC Fandome, we have a couple of Thunder rounds we're going to get through.
Thunder.
Yeah. Decorum number 4 is for Noel by Jonathan Hickman and Mike Huddleston. There are many assassins in the known universe. This is the story of the most well-mannered one. Good manners is just being respectful of others, whether they have a bounty or not. You should show respect for all people. Are you ready to go, Noel?
Sure.
With your 60-second review, do it.
So I read issue 3 and 4 together. This might be a bit of a review of issue 3 as well. Decorum is a very weird book. It's telling two separate stories that are separated, or two stories that are separated by about hundreds of thousands of years. And they were giving, up until issue 3, they were giving them equal measure. Issue 3 was exclusively the present day future story with these female assassins and her protege. And then they introduce an assassin school for females that are all aliens. It was really cute. This issue 4, was exclusively that past storyline where one race of things is trying to restart life with an earth seed, and another race of things is trying to stop the earth seed from planting. And it's like a chase across the stars, and it's very esoteric and weird. I liked it, but I still don't know what the hell's going on. To you. Yeah.
End of round.
End of round.
This is gonna read great later.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to catch up on it, but I'm glad that you're into it. It makes me want to read it even more.
It's picking up. It's really fun.
Cool.
Christopher liked Age of Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, but Logan wasn't that great. Yeah.
But Rob has a hot Carl. Rob is here with a hot Carl.
Hot Carl's here. Come and get your hot Carls.
His hot Carl is Logan was great, Chris, in comparison to other mutant forays. And as Carls go, that one is hot.
The hottest, baby.
The hottest of
hottest. All right, Justice League number 51. Brian Lieb, you're up for your Thunder round.
Here we go. Thunder round.
From Jeff Loveness and Robson Roca at the mercy of the Black Mercy. As they return from their adventure on the planet Trotha, the Justice League crashes on the homeworld of the Black Mercy. There, they fall prey to the most powerful psychological threat they've ever faced. Written by Jeff Loveness, this 2-part descent into the dark corners of the superhero psyche will unearth fresh horrors. Are you ready, Brian?
I am ready. Thank you.
Skadoosh. No, wait. Right. No, don't skadoosh yet.
No, I'm skadooshing.
All right, you know what? I'm just going to...
Oh, here we go. Extra long Thunder round. So sometimes the Black Mercy is cliched, and it's like, you're bringing in the Black Mercy, you know it's big, and but this story was great. It was a fun story, and I liked they did this kind of, they take Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman right at their start, and they give them a cool take on their psychology of like, they said, do you remember the moment your life truly began? And it was when they became heroes, and they kind of went on the path that they're on. But it takes it gives a cool overview, which I like for continuity reasons as well, that like this stuff is there. But also, I liked their what turns out to be the Black Mercy's question about like, after it's been going on a while, was it good, and do you want more? Do you have the courage to change again? It was.
Beep, 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 beep,
Oh no!
beep, 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 beep.
I had
End
another
of
thing
round.
to say. Oh well, it will never be known. I know it.
So the Black Mercy, if anyone doesn't know, and it took me a little bit to realize what it was when it was revealed. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to know this. What is it? Oh, whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow? Is that what it was? Or
Yeah, which they show an image of in here. They show his vision. Of
Yeah.
No, not whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow. For the man who has everything.
what do you
that's
get?
right.
Yeah.
For the man who
Yeah. It was sad. Not sad. It was unfortunate that they put it on the cover. A rare instance where I'm like, it would have been better. Yeah.
I had no idea. I got the Nick Derrington cover.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Always
So-
get the Nick Derrington cover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you have a choice between Nick Derrington and not Nick Derrington,
It's a good call.
you go with Nick Derrington.
It's a good call. Although All-Star Superman #1 is my story with that. I thought my comic shop at the time pulled the variant cover, and I was like, this is a cool cover. I'll take it. And then the main cover turned out to be top 5 Superman images of all time, in my opinion. And I was like, ooh, from now on, I will only get the regular as I like them all having the same, the same artist and all that stuff.
I will do not the regular verses, but whatever I start with, I try and keep it.
Yeah, all right. I can see that.
So, like for Strange Adventures, there's a Doc Shaner cover and a Mitch Garrett cover. I started with Doc Shaner. No matter how cool the Mitch Garrett's cover is,
Yeah,
I want them all to be the Doc Shaner ones.
that makes sense. I did go back and get the main cover for All-Star Superman #1.
Nice.
Yeah.
As you
Is that
would.
the one with him on the cloud?
Oh, yeah. Looking back.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
JD, you were giving people the 30-second pitch on what the Black Mercy was.
Oh, basically, it was a plant, right? It was a gift, and it was a plant that I guess
Mongol.
attaches to your chest, and it makes you think you're experiencing your life as you always wanted it to be. So,
While it feeds off of you.
yeah,
Right.
parasitic flower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here it doesn't need to. It's like you're in the presence, and it's so big it called them.
Yeah, which I thought was cool.
I actually thought I thought that aspect of it was pretty cool, and for them to use the Black Mercy. I mean, there was a part of me that was like the image that we saw, the cover that we saw, which was the regular cover, which has Batman, in Soroust or whatever, all up in the Black Mercy, or the Black Mercy all up.
Oh,
in
yeah.
there. And it's a little bit disturbing, but when you get into the book, there's an actually more disturbing image of when the Black Mercy gets into the Flash.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, yo, this joint is like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is some body horror right here, man.
It is gross.
So that was pretty cool. I mean, it was a cool story. It was fun. It was great art. Fantastic looking art. So I enjoyed it enough. It was cool.
Were there two? Sorry,
Go
the
ahead.
flashbacks. I thought they were the flashbacks look different in a cool way for flashbacks to look. And I didn't know if there were two artists or if it was one person doing two styles.
Seems to be one artist.
Cool.
But this is like I guess what's his name? Joshua Williamson just ended his arc, and now these are fill-ins until the death metal stuff starts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So for 2-issue fill-ins, this is better than it needed to be. It could have just treaded water, but it's enjoyable.
That's
That's
not
cool.
Man, growing right out of it.
And considering that it was maybe just the page before, all you saw was the Flash reaching for the Black Mercy, this kid, and then he got caught up that bad. I'm like you cut from there to the brother is a root.
It happens fast.
He's a legendary root now.
Yeah.
Brandon says Supergirl did a cool episode with it, and Action Figure Expert says, so the Black Mercy was featured in one episode of Justice League. Where is Superman?
That was basically for the man who has everything.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
That was an adaptation of the comic book by Alan Moore. Wait, no.
Alan Moore.
Oh yeah, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Alan Moore, Dave Gibbons.
All right, so that is the spoiler alert comic review section of the show. We will
JD.
move on.
This week I have a challenge for you.
Oh,
Challenge!
Tell the people, if you will, of Patreon.com.
Patreon.com is a place where you can go if you were to type into your web browser www.patreon.com/JohnnyDestructo. You could help out the show with your hard-earned money. Where else should you spend it? Nowhere. Give it to us so that we can do this nonsense.
So I can replace my absolute authority.
Yeah,
exactly. Funnel it into that purpose.
Yeah. You can also, we have a tip jar. If you just want to send us money at JD's Hero Complex on Venmo, you could just send us $1. What do you do? Just give us $1.
Every day.
Every day. You're welcome.
The next 1,000 days.
All right. So for people who don't know, Len and I had a separate show called Gutter Talk. Where we would talk about the sort of the goings-on in the gutters, if you will, around the panels of the comic books. We would talk about movies and race relations and sexism and all sorts of different meanderings about comic books and movies and pop culture in general. We have now combined that into this show, and we will bring it to you now. Len.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Gotta Talk, ladies and gentlemen.
that hey was so good. It's just like, hey.
Really leads into Gutter Talk.
Hey.
Welcome to Gutter Talk, ladies and gentlemen. And if I understand correctly, isn't there? Yes, there we go. Because while JD and I did run Gutter Talk for a long time, we were very often joined by a third talker on the show, and he was a guy by the name of Brandon.
Yay, it's Brandon.
What's up? How you doing, Brandon?
Pretty good.
Today,
I'm recording everything properly.
Oh, I'm sure you are, and if not, we'll make it work. Trust me, bro. We will. I love seeing you and that beautiful ornament that you have on the back of your wall there.
Yes.
In your house.
I have a horn. Wait, there it is.
What? Oh, fantastic.
Oh, see, I thought he had been lowered in by the Matrix, and then he will be sucked back up to continue to be used as a battery.
That's his power cord. Yeah, that's his plug.
Yeah.
I thought it was lowered in like Tom Cruise in that Mission Impossible movie, and he's just
he's just
there. So we thought that, like JD said, we talk about all the things that are going on in and around the comic book industry, ladies and gentlemen, for Gutter Talk. And right now, one of the biggest things that has happened in comic bookdom was this past weekend, DC Fandome, as DC Comics and Warner Media put on their online convention of a sort, their virtual convention. It's went on yesterday, and I believe there's parts of it that will be going on today. And we took a time to look at some of the more hot items from Fandome and want to give you our take on those fabulous things. And one of the first things that happened of many was they released another trailer for Wonder Woman 1984, the new Wonder Woman movie that has been pushed back because of the row. It's been pushed back to 2021. They put out a new trailer of this film, and this one gave us our first look at Wonder Woman's villain, or her arch nemesis in the film, Cheetah. And it seems that it got a pretty positive review from the internet. Would you say so, Brandon? Oh, sorry.
I would. Oh, yeah, I would. Also, I would just in general, I think Fandome in general was, in my opinion, a huge success. I feel like everything that they wanted to do well, did well, and it the buzz around it seemed to all be mostly positive. So I feel like the Wonder Woman trailer and Fandome in general, great.
Go ahead, JD.
Oh, I agree with Brandon. Actually, to talk about DC Fandome specifically, I think I was a little disappointed in the comic book convention online experience. Had little to nothing to do with comic books. and more to do with the films and the television shows and other stuff. There was some cool panels, but I think they definitely dropped the ball a little bit on going, hey, if you like Wonder Woman, there is a brand new series being written by Mariko Tamaki and Mikael Janin, and it's great, and you should check that out. In order to get people into the shops to buy the books, to keep fueling the movies that they keep wanting to make. It's a bummer that they didn't do that. I had heard rumors afterwards that I guess there's going to be another Fandome in September, and that might be more comic book oriented. That's just what someone tweeted at me. And that's kind of cool too, I guess, but I think they should have mixed both of those together so that the people who are there for the Wonder Woman trailer or the Batman trailer will also be will also experience the fact that what's happening in Batman in the comic books and what's happening with Wonder Woman in the comic books, because the people who are going to show up for the comic book one in September are already buying the comic books. You're not getting new readers that way.
The way that they had this set up too is that it was just a constant stream, so people will probably just turn it on and leave it on. So while you're waiting for that second or third trailer of the Snyder Cut, they could insert some actual publishing information in between, because instead we just got like long infomercials about all the voice actors or that have done Batman, which was cool, but it wasn't like I wouldn't go sit in a panel on that. Same with like there was a whole 10-minute like jokey thing of redubbing Batman Beyond to make fun of Batman 66, which was cute.
Loved it. I thought it was so much fun.
I tuned out of that.
Comics. Yeah, I tuned out. But in regards to the Wonder Woman trailer, I didn't like it. I loved the original. I loved the first trailer. This one was just real pedestrian. And then for the first time, it made me think, oh, cool. It's just going to be a CGI fight at the end against the cheetah lady.
Yeah,
the special effects did not look that great.
Yeah, I'm not stoked about the cheetah's look with the it's just full CG from what I can tell. But
with creepy hair.
To be fair, is she's always in motion. So every time we see the cheetah, she is doing something that the cheetah actress can't do in real life. But anytime anybody is full CG, it separates me from the story.
Could we be seeing a not quite finished version too? Like I don't know where they are in their process, or if it was stopped or halted.
They're completely done. The movie was supposed to come out in June. This is not like a year away. It's only test footage. Like the movie was done.
That was Brian. That's exactly what I said to someone yesterday. I was like, I'm sure the CG is just being worked on. I forgot that it's supposed to be out already.
Oh, right.
I mean, it's possible that they're still working on it. Like, because sometimes they do have little touches they have to make, and CGI warehouses were closed just like everything else. So it's possible they didn't get everything done.
I liked Kristen Wiig when they showed her and her transformation and her fighting and stuff. I was like, this is awesome. But then when they showed the shot of the end with, it wasn't even the CG character. It was the fact that she had whipping hair that was so wildly unnatural. Yeah. I'm like, what's happening? This is so creepy looking.
Yeah, kind of like the underwater hair effects from Aquaman, which was terrible.
I mean, I want to see this movie so bad because I like all the actors a lot, and everyone's incredibly charming. And I laughed a couple of times with the Steve Trevor Man Out of Time jokes.
Yeah. Chris Pine is a treasure.
Yeah, it was so great. But it's the last 20 seconds of the trailer, I was just like, oh, that's not the movie I want to watch. Just like how the end of Wonder Woman was like, oh, you could have done. It could have been so much different.
True, but to your point about this having been a finished film, one, I tend to side with Brandon on that. Though it was probably finished, who knows how many finishing touches they really got a chance to do? Because we've all heard the stories of movies that are, especially with the special effects, that are still being tweaked even a week before the film is opening, right? And what this trailer does by them, with the movie not being able to be coming out until 2021, you put the trailer out there, you show them, you give a little peek at Cheetah, and then maybe you listen to the response a little bit. And maybe you go in and retweak that a little. You know what I mean? So
when is this coming out?
It's definitely not coming out till 2021.
I mean, I think it's still October. I think
they haven't changed that.
No,
I will Google now.
I was pretty sure that they moved it all the way back.
Because I think even the thing said only in theaters 2020.
I got October 2nd is what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah. This shit's done.
No, it
still doesn't
not
mean
done.
that
It still is not done. Dude, there are stories that they were still working on Infinity War and Endgame up to weeks and days before they were released.
Fair. I hope it's not the final version. That's all.
But what I will also say, just to your points about Fandome and the lack of the spotlight on comic books. One, they did split it into 2 days. It was originally supposed to be 1 day. They split it into 2 days. Who knows what maybe is going to happen for today? I don't know. But probably not anything, to be fair. And two, what they showed, because of this television and it being animation and voice actor and the spot on things that were done or are in deep pre-production or have already been done in the past, you can do, because those are entities and people who were not as hard hit by the layoffs that happened at Warner Media over the past couple of weeks, like the comic book side did take a big hit and is in big flux right now. So it is fair to say that some of their plans may be in a little bit of flux. You had the big story with the new Batman series by John Ridley and Nick Derrington, which we'll get to, and maybe of one or two other things. But things are probably in flux right now, and maybe you don't want to put a mic in front of some people who might have some ruffled feathers and give you some sound bites that you did not vie for. Go ahead, JD.
My counter to that is just make ads. On shelves now, Wonder Woman number 760 by Mariko Tamaki. It's a great jumping on point. Oh, you like Batman? If you're excited for the Batman movie, come to your local comic shop and check out Joker War going on right now on the shelves. Hey, if you really like the Joker film from last year, Batman 3 Jokers, a 3-issue miniseries coming from Black Label, out on shelves this Wednesday.
Also, too, these were pre-recorded and filmed a couple weeks ago. Almost all of these things, nothing was live. So and there's a lot of people that weren't affected. So like Jim Lee had talked, Jim Lee was a part of like 17 panels yesterday. He was literally the only like comic book person, other than a couple of the Milestone guys, that was in like everything. Like nobody, like whatever. But
one still cashing a check.
Probably. But he would talk about, like, somebody would he would answer questions about Watchmen and stuff. Bring on Tom King, who's about to have a book launch. They were talking about the cartoons. Bring on James Tynion IV, who's in the bag for DC for many years. Like, it just make the connection. Like, I understand the separate days, but the point is to make the connection between the publishing and the other media, not separate the media and the publishing.
I think my understanding also was that originally they had overlapping stuff, like you would at a convention, right? Like the convention lasts 3 days, and you go to a convention, you can't see all the things that you want to see usually. So they, I guess, were like, okay, that's how we'll do it. And then at some point, someone was like, oh, we don't have to do that. We can do it in such a way that people can see everything they want. Now, JD, I think what you said is a great idea. What I originally thought you meant is just during the Wonder Woman panel, that host at the end is like, yo, look at this. Because they used a lot of comics art in stuff, you know. But hey, maybe it's the first of its kind. So maybe they'll do that.
Overall, I think the experience was a positive one. I just would have appreciated a little bit.
What it was is that, keep going.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think what it was is that they were doing they originally planned to have this as both days and have stuff going on, and it wasn't until when the layoffs happened, which was a week before Fandome, that they cut all the other stuff. Yeah. So I'm assuming what it was is they probably already had stuff planned, and maybe they had plans for the comic book stuff already. So they couldn't just slot stuff in a week before. Everything was already in production. So I think what they did is they probably just cut the comic book stuff completely, because they couldn't just cut around it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think they just cut it completely and then moved all of that to September 12th, which is the next date. And then they just kept the movie and TV stuff.
Yeah. Okay,
I
fair
did
enough.
like how they did the one for the Batman panel. I think especially was they had Matt Reeves and was it Aisha Tyler was the one doing it. They were there and against like a background of Batman drawings and art and whatever, and it was a cool way to make it look and will feel like they were talking face to face. You know, like they were in the same space. I just thought that was a well executed part of Fandome.
Yeah, it was well, you know, from what I could see, it was well done. And speaking specifically about the Wonder Woman 84 trailer, those nitpicks aside about the special effects, I tend to agree with Brian. Like, I watched it for the sake of the show, but I didn't need to see it. I didn't need to see a longer trailer of Wonder Woman. I was already in the bag for it, but I can recognize that for a movie that has been pushed back, was supposed to come out much earlier. You know, they kind of want to refresh people's minds with what's happening, so they're giving them a little bit longer take. I'm still in the bag for the movie. I love Chris Pine. I don't think I've seen Chris Pine do anything bad yet that I have not enjoyed him. Gal Gadot, I still appreciate her. Still appreciate what she's trying to do with the character. I love that she looked badass. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what some of my fellow tribbles say. I love seeing her swing on lightning.
Every time it gives me chills.
Yes.
Is her father Zeus in these movies? Is that part of what they've done in the comics? Have they done that in these movies also?
I don't know. I don't think they've said that yet.
Oh,
No, they said her origin. I think, wasn't it that like her mom like made her out of something, and then Zeus like made it real?
Makes sense to me. She could swing on lightning then.
Yeah, but remember in the comics, I think at one time that was told to be like a false story, and I don't know if, and even when they said it here in the movies or alluded to it, I always got the sense that they might tweak that a little bit, but who knows, you know?
So Saturday the 12th is the next day, and it looks like a mix of the TV shows and 3 or 4 comic book panels, but it's Joker War, 3 Jokers, Metal, Deceased.
But that's kind of what JD wanted, right? Like for them to talk about their big comic stuff.
3 weeks after they talk about their movies.
Right, but what I'm saying is they were doing it.
The only people tuning in for that in September will be us, the people who are already reading the books.
Yeah.
Right, but what I'm saying is that was originally planned for today. So like I'm saying the reason they couldn't do it today is because when they moved stuff, they moved it to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I'm having trouble with just the concept. They don't need to be separated. As in, the comic book panels could have been in between the movie ones that people absolutely were showing up for.
Yes.
That's what
I'm
saying.
They
were supposed to be 2 different days. I mean, that's the bad idea. The good idea being they should have been merged. 2 separate days is no big deal. The concept, like the topics, should have been merged and intertwined with each other.
Yeah.
Like an actual convention.
Absolutely.
You know, you walk by one panel and it's about the comics. The other one's about a TV show that you love. Like
right.
One experience.
And again, this is all. Hopefully, they can adjust this next time. And I'd like to see more of this sort of experience from other publishers. But who knows? I mean, next year they probably won't do it if things are back to normal and people can just go spend every cent they made during the year on a convention.
I wonder if there could even be something that they do where they just film the convention, which for some reason, like they never have, and I don't know why. Yeah,
because people pay for it.
Well, sure,
they want people to pay to come see it live.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, a lot of people are going to go to San Diego Comic-Con anyway, and you're right. I mean, they would lose out on that revenue stream, but there's a big revenue stream from the hype too, and I wonder if they'll see that there's some value. You know, maybe they never would have tried it, but now they have, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Is this Ronnie says, "Good afternoon, gents." Is this Ronnie's strike? Tulsa movie guy, or is this a new Ronnie? If you're a new Ronnie, welcome. If you're Ronnie Strike, welcome.
I expect that next year DC Fandome, it would probably be less movies and TV stuff. Honestly, they'll probably it might be just more comic and more fan stuff. Because they want the big stuff to be, like you said, at actual live panels.
And they could still have con exclusive stuff, just like they do with other merchandise. You could have you get 85% to 90% of the convention, but if you go to San Diego, then you get this extra stuff.
I don't know, guys. Like this is a new era of DC, as in it's an arm of AT&T. What do you think is more cost effective for them?
Yeah,
more cost effective.
I think live panels would be right. That's why I'm saying I think the Fandome will just be like fun stuff, not really anything people really want to see.
No, I think that this is going to be
more cost effective.
It's definitely more cost effective than to exhibit in different states and pay for talent to go back and forth and all kinds of shit like this. Doing something like this where they can produce propaganda in a bubble and then just present it on a live stream is absolutely what's going to happen going further. If anything, the indication of the fact that like DC has done absolutely everything they can to divest themselves from the normal comic book life, right? Their own distribution, their own publishing schedule, the impact on YA, the cut of all the cutting all their staff. Like this is the new normal for DC.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going, like maybe they'll have some like T-shirts and some Artist Alley stuff at conventions, but no.
I think they'll still. I think they will still have a presence, but I think, like to Noel's point, they will just continue to create their own kind of wing of the genre, which people will have to go to. And let's be honest, it's what Disney has been doing for the past couple of years with Disney 23. You know.
Yeah,
Bob
D23
chimes in with a podcast poll. How sick is everyone of the Batman Who Laughs?
Hate it.
From day one, Bob Cole.
I'm very sick of the Batman Who Laughs. However, I'm open to the Darkest Night.
Yeah, the
new version of the Batman Hatton. Nope, hate him too. Hate it all. Hate it. I mean,
he's the Darkest Night.
He's the Darkest Night.
Batman Hatton.
He's the Darkest.
He called himself Batman Hatton.
No, that was the other guy.
Darkest Night.
That was the other guy. Yeah.
He used that guy's body.
Are you upset he didn't go with Dr. Bad Hatton? Because I
hate it all so much.
I think it's so dumb that I think it's fun.
I'm into it now with The Darkest Night. With Batman Who Laughs, I felt completely different. And I'm like, all right, let's see what's up.
It's all dumb. But let's
all right, so that's Wonder Woman. What else
we've done like one of...
Let's use that segue of The Darkest Night into the Batman.
You mean the Gotham Knights? Because that was the next thing that we saw was the trailer.
I'm not going in order, Brandon. I said
I am. So there was a trailer for Gotham Knights, and that was the next on the list. And it showed some trailer and some gameplay from WB Montreal. Oh, JD has something to say.
No, after you're done.
Oh, okay. So it was WB Montreal who made Arkham Origins, which, if people have played the Arkham games, that was the origin story. That was the only one not made by Rocksteady Studios.
Oh.
So this game is going to be taking place after, well, I don't know, should we spoil it?
Yeah.
For people? Okay, so this is taking place after it seems Bruce has died, Jim Gordon has died, and now Barbara, Tim, Dick, and Jason are taking over, and they're defending the city together. And we see them, the gameplay looks a little similar to the Arkham games, but people have definitely noticed that there's some more RPG aspects, and people are worried that it's going to be a games as a service type of game, which is a type of game where things come out in release segments. So you pay for, instead of just getting one game, you get new content every few months, which people are worried about because that doesn't appeal to a lot of people. So they're also worried it'll be multiplayer. And the main thing with games as a service games is there's a lot of loot and stuff, and to get the best stuff you have to pay for it, unless you play for hundreds of hours to get enough money to buy it in game. So that's a lot of stuff people are worried about. Personally, from what they've said about the game, I don't think this is going to be a games as a service. I think we'll talk about it later, but I think the Suicide Squad game will be. But this one does have some similar aspects. That's what people are worried about. And now JD's not here, and he was the only one who wanted to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, what's up next?
Yeah, I don't play video games.
Glenn, what did you want to talk about? Why don't you do this first, Glenn?
For the next handful of topics, never read Sandman. Don't play video games. So I'm gonna take a nap over here, and you guys let me know when
I'll be right. I'll be right with Noel.
I watched the gameplay trailers. They looked really cool.
We should have done something else. We should have talked Batman, Len. Jeez.
Yeah, it's almost like I know how to run a show. But anyway,
shots fired.
But to speak about Gotham Knights, because it is on the table, the only thing I will just ask this question. I wasn't sure whether or not of these Gotham Knights. I knew, of course, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Jason Todd. I didn't know whether or not that was supposed to be Tim Drake or Damian, but that is in fact supposed to be Tim Drake. Yeah,
originally I thought it was Damian, but they released information about it, and they specifically said it was Tim. So yeah. Also, I forgot to mention the Court of Owls is going to be in play in some way.
I am very excited for this. Well, my excitement level was here, and now it's just slightly lower because you said they're the same people who did Arkham Origins, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I really enjoyed the other Arkham games, top to bottom, but Arkham Origins, I just found, I don't know, there was something about it that was a little repetitive and made me a little sleepy, and I don't think I ever actually finished that game. So that brings my excitement level down just a skosh. But I have always loved the Bat family more than the Batman himself. So the fact that we actually get to play as these other characters, I'm really excited about, specifically Batgirl. I'm stoked to play Batgirl.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
It's a small thing, but there's one very tiny detail that I do not like about these video games. And it's very small.
No nudity.
Well, now we're on to the next topic. No, it's that Batman has blue eyes. And I always...
You prefer the all white, you mean?
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's that Alex Ross, the legendary comic book painter, Alex Ross, has always bucking against the system of these superheroes being, just white guys all the time and basically just having a change of hair. A lot of them would have blue eyes. Superman has blue eyes. Yeah. And he always drew Batman purposefully with brown eyes. And I appreciated that. And now when I see Batman drawn with blue eyes, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like him with brown eyes. I think it fits his character more. And with the blue eyes, it doesn't fit. It doesn't work. He doesn't look like Batman to me anymore. So it's a small thing, and it's just my thing. But especially as the trailer starts with his piercing blue eyes looking at you, I'm like, you're not Batman.
Because it's not as dark. It's like more hopeful than dark, kind of like the feel of it. Yeah. I mean, the eyes are a big characterizing element, and there's so many metaphors
the windows to the soul.
It. Yeah. So. I hear you.
Bob Kolb says the new direction of Red Hood starting in number 51 looks interesting. I haven't seen anything about that.
No, 51 of what? Red Hood himself?
Comic.
Like he has his
Red
own
Hood,
comic? Okay,
yeah, Red Hood Outlaw.
Okay.
I haven't seen any of that. That's going to be after. That's going to 51 is going to be the one after Lobdell, I think. Right? Isn't it ending at 50? I'm pretty sure we're up to like 49 or so. And 50 is going to be like Lobdell's last issue, and 51 is going to be the new stuff.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Rob Beatty says, I really want to play as Harold.
Harold was a favorite of mine as well.
I remember Harold, yeah.
Such a cool, distinctive part of that era. That was, the guy who works on Batman's cars. Like, he's the mechanic for people that don't recall. Yeah.
He was in Hush, so everyone knows him because everyone read Hush, and they all love it.
But he didn't turn out so well in Hush, right?
He did not.
Yeah. That's always a shame. Like Professor Hamilton, when there's a long-running character that you like, and it's always a twist when they're like, ooh, what if this guy was bad? And you're like, I liked Harold.
What do we do? Not hot takes. Hot Carl. Huss is just fine.
Whoa,
yeah, that was the joke I was making, yeah.
Yes, very much. Next on the docket is there was a Sandman panel. That happened at Fandome. Brandon, what do you got to say about the Sandman panel?
So there was a Sandman panel, and then there was a multiverse panel, and that's about it. Basically, I love Sandman, But the panel was just like, it was fun seeing people talk and everything, but it wasn't any like new information personally.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard, the new show is going to be like revitalized, and it's going to be set like the modern day parts aren't going to be in the 80s or 90s. They're going to be in actual modern day, so like 2020s. But that Neil Gaiman has said that like 3 times since 2019, so it's really not new information. But aside from that, I didn't really see anything particularly newsworthy. It was just cool to see people talk.
Yeah, because I didn't see this panel. Did they even have any type of like pre-production stuff that they were showing? Or was it really just talking?
The only thing that they set up when in regards to the television show is he said the time frame of it, but then also the virus has allowed us to truly perfect the scripts. They are not past scripting.
Right.
Wow.
Like they're still like, because they've been on pause for 6-7 months now.
Well, because they were pretty far out from starting when everything stopped.
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't see the panel either. I love Sandman, and I haven't read the series, but I heard they talked about some comics talk. Actually, they talked about G. Willow Wilson's Dreaming, which she's a great writer, and I would love to read it. I just haven't gotten to it.
I've started it. It's great. Cool. At least the first issue.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's only one out right now, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
I think I have that one, so we're all set. But I'm really looking forward to the show. I barely even see the time frame thing as news. It's like, oh, great. Like I was cool. It was cool when I found that out, but I was just like, it's set in the present. That's cool.
The panel itself was, I think, like 35 minutes or 30 minutes, and 20 of them was a little self-congratulatory. Like it was a lot of people coming on and being like, Sandman changed my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like there wasn't, I mean, which is really sweet and nice, but it was like,
sure.
Okay.
And it's a seminal series too,
cool.
monumental, but yeah, you're right. It's not much of news.
It was just glad handy.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, cool.
And they had like people from all aspects. Like they had G. Will Wilson from comics. They had Dirk Maggs, who was like the director of the audio. And then they had
Michael Sheen.
Well, and then Michael
Sheen was there. That's cool.
Yeah, but I think they had those people on to talk about the things, but those people ended up just coming on and saying, I really like Sandman. And I think that's what kind of added to the congratulatory thing.
Although JD's gone right now from the, he can't hear us, but they did mention comics. They talked about the Sandman comic, maybe because they didn't have enough space, but enough to fill, right?
Exactly. Brandon alluded to, there was a multiverse panel later with Walter Hamada, president of DC Films, where he confirmed a couple of things. One, he confirmed that the Batman film by Matt Reeves that we'll be talking about later will be set in its own universe. He also mentioned that DC Films is no longer worrying about having their universe of films connect. If a writer has a good idea that doesn't fit the main universe, they're still willing to make it. Which I think is kind of like the vibe everybody was already starting to get with what happened in the wake of Wonder Woman and then Shazam, and then especially with Joker. You're certainly not going to walk away from $1 billion juggernaut that movie was. So I don't think that's, I mean, it's news, but is it really news? I mean, we already kind of knew like the Batman was already kind of going to be set in its own type of world.
Well, actually, that's kind of news, because I know people, at least I personally thought that maybe this was going to be, they were going to pass it off as like a younger Ben Affleck. So this confirms that it's not. It's a totally different thing.
I mean, I also wondered.
I didn't get that impression.
I wondered if they, and I still don't know for sure, but if they were going to have Pattinson be, with Flashpoint stuff, if they were going to change stuff and have Pattinson be associated with that. It didn't seem like that's what they were going to do, but yeah.
Yes and no. So the idea, the idea that let's say Barry can do that, like Barry can traverse dimensions as well as time travel, so he could visit X, Y, and Z, but not in so much as the Flashpoint will make this version of the character different in real time. Like they're not doing that at all. Yeah, it's just more along the lines of him being able to go back and forth. But No, this is to me, this is non-news though, because even during Aquaman, they started trying to coin the term something like the cinematic worlds of DC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's taken into the EU, DC Extended Universe.
Yeah, like they were like no longer DC Extended Universe. Now it's just the cinematic worlds of DC. Like they gave up on this 3 years ago. Yeah. So,
which is what they've done with their animation for years. You know, there's that one continuity, which was cool, and then there's other movies which are also cool. So it's worked for that.
Yeah, and I think it's smart. Sure, we all maybe love to see it all connected. Yes. Yeah, but I'm fine with it because I don't ever have to watch an Aquaman movie again, right? And not so much because I didn't like the movie. It's just that I don't care about Aquaman. You know, so if I only come across Aquaman when they choose to do a Justice League movie, that's fine with me. I'll watch Batman. I'll watch Superman. I'll watch Wonder Woman. Maybe if they do it right, I'll watch a Green Lantern, and I'll give the Flash a chance. But if they don't hit, I don't need them to matter to mess up, everything else. So I actually think this is a smart way to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is a cake and eat it too type of situation. They say like, no, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. But everything matters because it's in a multiverse.
Right.
Which I always think is funny. Because, if you think about that theory in the real world, whenever somebody in a comic or a fictional universe is like, oh, no, it all matters. There's a multiverse. Or, the multiverse was destroyed. Or, oh, Marvel is part. No, there's a real multiverse, possibly. It's already all out there. It doesn't matter what you say. They all exist in a multiverse.
Right.
Or just an infinitude.
Speaking about multiverse, that took us to the Flash panel. The new movie, the new Flash movie that it seems has been confirmed will be about multiversal travel. There was concept art of the new suit, which alluded, as our intrepid Brandon pointed out, alluded to the multiverse world of cinematic DC. Because the art had a guest star from bygone DC movies past. Isn't that so, Brandon?
It is. I'm trying to pull it up. I wish JD was here so he could show everyone. It's let me see. So there.
There we go.
So
you can't really see, although there was a circle right where the circle should be for a second.
Yeah. You can't really see.
So
it looks. Yeah.
In shadow, it's Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah. I mean, there's a yellow oval there on an all black suit.
I mean, it also is his jawline and his cowl.
Oh, okay.
So they have he holds his fist.
Yeah, and then there's the Batmobile is in the far distance in the background, and everything above them looks industrial, a la Danny Elfman. I'm sorry, fucking Danny Elfman.
Tim
Burton.
Yeah. And they have weirdly the director or producer or whatever was saying talking about Keaton being in it, but I don't think they've officially announced yet that he is in it.
No. And in the panel too, they didn't talk about either of them.
I think they. I think they have.
Affleck.
I think they've officially announced it.
Everybody's in talks.
Yeah. But I saw something, some quote, but I guess it wasn't from this, but where they just talk about Keaton. Which made me think I guess it's a done deal, but who knows? Yeah. But you're right, Brandon. Also, Ben Affleck is in it as well as the Batman that what's his name has Ezra Miller's Flash has run into before. Right. Oh, I'm hoping for it. So he could visit more than one universe. There could be a lot of stuff going on. And that's what I was thinking with Ben Affleck. Is it possible in the comics he comes back and Batman is younger and in a new costume?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it will happen. I don't think it will either.
Yeah. Now seeing the trailer for Pattinson's movie, I don't think that. But before, that's kind of what I was thinking. Because they said that. Keep going.
I hate it when you do that. I'm not trying to interrupt.
Yeah.
But that's why I stopped. Not for
They
you
said
to stop.
Keaton.
Come on.
Sorry, they said that Keaton is going to be. They said Keaton is going to be in a different universe, and they said that. Well, no. Sorry. They said Affleck is going to be the same universe. He's going to be like the main Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
of Ezra Miller's Flash.
Right.
Right.
And then Keaton will probably be in a different universe, and that. But we don't know that for sure. It just seems like it.
But just because of that, I don't know. What I was gonna say is I never, knowing Matt Reeves' stuff, I never thought that he was playing ball with a larger universe thing. Like his whole deal was that he gets to make his Batman movie.
That point,
but I wonder, knowing the Flashpoint kind of like what it is with time travel and changing the present and saving your mother and stuff, how they're going to at the same time expand it to multiversal, but then not just do the 1-for-1 different Batman in the one area. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be, this is either going to be so incredibly cool or a giant fucking mess like Justice League, where they tried to like bake 17 different meals in one movie, right?
Time travel and multiverse, though, are like pretty related. JD's not here to put it on screen, but Rob Patey says, so he time travels and multiverse travels, and Flash : off the rails, he supplies as the title. But I mean, for one, I love the time travel and multiverse stuff from the Flash, and it's core Flash if they can do it cool. And that's the Flashpoint story: is he goes back, changes something, comes back, the world is different. But
it's like it's a pick a lane. Do you want it to just be time travel changing changing the future and then being a problem, or do you want to travel across different dimensions as your conflict or as your journey? I mean, like sideways and forward and backwards. Like
I think they can kind of be.
It's a potential mess.
It's potentially a mess, but I don't see them as that different. Like they're very closely related concepts, especially if you do the to make a decision splits off and then you have two worlds. You go back in time, it splits up. They said something like this will be the birth of the the multiverse will be born out of this. And I wonder if it's going to be a thing where he travels back in time and then either creates the multiverse by that action, which was already done in the CW show. And I was talking to a friend of mine last night. It's like, well, maybe the multiverse has multiple beginnings. It'd be cool.
You know what? I didn't take that literally. I know what you're saying.
It might not be. Yeah.
I think it's more the birth of us being able to tell all these stories at the same time.
Stories.
In an introduction to the concept of the multiverse.
Yeah.
And that could be the case too. That could be
not inception of the multiverse. But that whole panel was the film division, the television division, the comic books, and I forget who the fourth. Oh, just the moderator. And they were all just making a case for quit fucking thinking about it. We're going to do a bunch of different stuff. Like that literally was Brandon, you watched it, right? Like the whole point of it was just like, we could do whatever we want. And it's all a part of the plan. We can do whatever we want. And it's all like,
I'm down with that.
Which is super cool. But it was like after about 15 minutes of it, I was like, right, I got it.
See, you know what? I think the reason why we're even questioning it to the point we are is because their track record is not good. It's becoming better, but because their track record is not so good, you question it, because the idea of them having a movie with the Flash and this being his first solo movie, and yet they're still going to kind of like stuff it with this whole idea of multiverses and other characters and 9 different Batmans, and whoever knows, they might even find a way to stuff, Linda Carter back into her suit or something like that. The idea that all of those might happen, sure, it boggles your mind, and you can see this being a clusterfuck because you've seen how they have handled some things and have dropped the ball before. But if you give them the benefit of a doubt that we all gave the something like the Miles Morales movie, You know, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it was his first movie, yet it still introduced all these 9,000 different versions of Spider-Man into it, and yet it still all made sense. We still all enjoyed it. It didn't lose touch with the main character, and it worked on a multitude of levels. So I think they're asking for us to give them that benefit of a doubt. Have they maybe earned it? Maybe not. But they're asking.
The one thing that I thought was super great about both of these panels, the multiversal one and Flash, they made a point to call out that Grant Gustin's Flash gives Cinema Flash the idea for his name. Because he says, you're a Flash? And he's like, okay. So like the cinematic version got his name from the CW.
It would be cool if Grant Gustin made a quick appearance in this movie. You know, Now, before we go on, can we talk about the suit a little bit? Also, I think it's great.
It looks like it came out of the Green Lantern movie universe.
So I've never been a fan of the yellow lines, especially in the comics. I like that they look more red than yellow here, and so I like. Going into it, I was like, ooh, better than I expected. I also like the little, the more wing-like nature of the earpieces that they were cool. And I like it a lot better than the Justice League one. So.
Oh, it is light years better than the Justice League Snyderverse costume. That thing is a car wreck.
Although apparently he was supposed to get a new costume in Justice League, right?
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah. Oh, it looks, I mean, I'm into it. For what they're going to do for a movie, I'm into it.
Oh, nice. I want to see it in motion.
Yeah.
I don't like the weird musculature of the speed lines. So in the comic, it's the speed lines are kind of like a lining or a piping of the suit. So they kind of like blend in. This is like a lining or a piping of musculature. And I don't like it.
Yeah,
and these are just concept. Like this is concept art.
Yeah. But that goes to what JD was saying about how it feels like the Green Lantern movie because that was lighting musculature,
sinewy.
So we just looked like I hope that's not what it's like, but I do like the idea of the light source being the Flash symbol emanating out, which I thought was really really cool touch.
Randy has been going on about this for 24 hours now. He keeps doing this quote. It's good you just didn't like it. And I don't understand why.
Is it about our next topic, the Snyder Cut?
Probably, I guess.
I think that's what he meant.
Also, Ezra Miller used the phrase flash fact like 4 times. And one of them was about an actual, this thing is faster than us kind of thing.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, I think he's into his character. It's just not a Barry Allen that anyone recognizes.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, staying in order, as Brandon wants to do, the next topic is Suicide Squad roll call.
Ooh!
As there was an introduction to all the characters.
Oh, yeah.
And who is playing who in the new Suicide Squad movie, and there was I didn't see the panel. What I saw was kind of like, so I didn't see an introduction to who's who.
You didn't need to see the panel.
I saw the trailer that was kind of like made of like behind the scenes stuff, and I saw to me, and it looked fun. It looked like madcap fun. I'm not going to lie. The best part of the trailer was the Peacemaker. Like, to me, to see the Peacemaker come to life and to see John Cena, like, embody that character right there on the screen, I was like, yo, I am in on Suicide Squad.
It looks like a high-budget version of that Janine Garofalo superhero movie.
The Mystery Men?
Mystery Men.
Oh, that's such a great movie.
Believe it or not, that had a pretty big budget.
Well, a better budget. It looks like you've got the Suicide Squad, but then the Mystery Men come in just to get murdered. And I was like, this looked like a bucket of fun.
Oh, and for people who aren't aware, Peacemaker is the inspiration for the comedian in Watchmen.
Yes.
I like the idea. his character motivation too was great. Like James Gunn just told John Cena, like, just be Captain America, but a douchebag. Like, okay. Yeah.
He's like, done.
Yeah.
I also really like Harley's costume. I made a joke online. I was like, I can't believe she has pants and sleeves. What?
Yeah.
Crazy, but I love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
It was really, really cool. All that stuff was like a lot electronic press kit fluff,
Yeah.
but it was so cool.
Yeah,
I'm so into this movie because some of it was finished, some of it was just behind the scenes. So you got to see some polka dot man action that was like fully realized. The Weasel as an actual like animated character.
I know. I couldn't believe that.
It's just such weird shit. And when James Gunn was talking about the aesthetic of the movie, it being a John Ostrander straight out of the 70s, but today, and then they showed characters in costume. I was like, oh, that's a fucking swing. That's a big swing. Like just the Peacemaker's helmet is a huge
so
swing.
dumb.
I know, right? It was,
But I loved it.
Was it good? So I didn't see the trailer, but I know what his helmet looks like, and it's an artifact.
And
it's
it's
big.
spot on. It is
Cool.
spot on. Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. I couldn't believe they made it come true in real life.
But I think as a Doctor Who fan, I'm very excited for Capaldi as the Thinker with like weird notes in his head and stuff. I hope
it's the Flash villain, the Thinker. That cool.
Yeah,
That's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like fun. James Gunn was saying, I mean, of course, it was all, it's all hype. He was saying like it's most fun he's had on a movie set in a long time, and it's fair to say 'cause it's already been about 5 years since he did Guardians of the Galaxy 2, so it's fair to say. But it looked like fun. It did look like fun, and it looks like it's going to be a winner. I never thought I would care about a Suicide Squad sequel, but
well, as soon as they announced James Gunn, I was like, oh, I'm in.
That's true. That's very true.
It's over a year away too. I think like it's not coming out till October of next year.
Yeah.
Or no, wait.
No, I think it's coming out in the
summer. Batman is October of next year. I'm sorry.
Right. Continuing down on the line. Oh, we're not going to the next Suicide thing? No, on the line is Black Batman, which is not necessarily Black Batman, but the writer John Ridley, a noted screenwriter, an Academy Award-winning screenwriter, I believe, and the artist Nick Derrington will be making a Batman book, who they say features a person of color. It will most likely, and actually, I believe the article John Ridley says that the 4-issue miniseries will focus primarily on Luke Fox and the Fox family.
He says the Fox family, yeah. He didn't mention Luke specifically.
So we still don't know who it is, right? That's going to be Batman.
Right. We don't know who's going to be Batman, but that's the characters and the family that is going to be mostly.
And isn't Luke Fox's Batwing, right?
Yes.
Right.
He already is. He's a part of the Bat family.
And he was going to be Batwing in 5G, so that's why people are thinking that like this is just going to like. It seems like they already had 5G stuff like planned, so they're just doing it, but not as a part of 5G.
Right. Like they're not going to do the whole revolution they were talking about, kind of thing.
Which bums me out. I was looking forward to that.
Well, for those who may not know, 5G was this. It sounded like a initiative that they were going to implement when Dan DiDio was still in place there at DC.
It stands for 5th generation. Sorry, the 5th generation of the heroes, not cell service.
No.
But I mean, AT&T
to kind of like swap out some of their bigger name legacy characters with newer versions of themselves, and they kind of like they've backed away hard from that initiative. And there's talk that this miniseries that John Ridley is going to be writing is kind of like leftovers from that initiative. I'm excited. Look, I am a recent devotee to anything Nick Derrington does, so I'm excited for that. I like John Ridley. I've liked most of his work in the movie sphere.
Well, he did American Way, didn't he? The comic book series?
He did the comic book American Way, which I was a fan of.
Yeah.
He also, I believe, was the writer or co-writer of 12 Years a Slave.
Yes.
Well. So I enjoy a lot of his work, and I'm interested in seeing what those two have cooked up together. I would just be even more interested, I think, if this was a creator owned property as opposed to being shoehorned into the world of Batman. But I'll still check it out.
Maybe it'll be so I got like the feeling pangs like for Far Sector, how I feel about it now, and Naomi, like an amazing artist and then a twist on a character trope. And I was just like, this is going to be great. So I hope that it, and I didn't read that it was only 4 issues. That bums me out. I want more than that. I hope they're going to be double sized. Make them prestige. Do something
4
big.
omnibuses.
Yeah.
4 absolutes.
Yeah.
I want good paper quality for Nick Derrington's art.
Yeah. Is this in continuity, did they say? It wasn't announced.
Yeah,
I missed a couple of panels, like an hour or two in the middle here, so I didn't see this one either.
I honestly, this wasn't even its own panel. They just introduced this at the end of something called Batman Legacy. So was the legacy of Batman is also more than Bruce Wayne kind of thing.
Gotcha.
I straight up missed it because I thought that this was a panel I could skip. I get why Batman's important.
Like, I know what the multiverse is, guys. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was Brandon that in the chat was just like, John Ridley, Nick Derrington.
That was JD.
JD?
That was me.
What happened? Yeah. So you missed all the cool stuff, but you watched the Batman Legacy.
What? You mean Beyond Batman?
I got to see Batman Beyond make fun of Batman 66, and that was fun.
That was fun. It was a fun thing, and I like to see it.
Yeah, I want to check that out too.
Yeah.
Some of the content was like DVD extras that you just kind of passively put on. Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even. Yeah, they just redubbed stuff and they showed the old Batman thing. I didn't expect them to be making fun of the Adam West one as much as they were. It was cool that they made it happen. I liked it.
Next thing is Milestone is returning. Yes. For the 4th time, they've announced that Milestone will be coming back. However, they've given a date to this. Milestone will be coming back in February with both print and digital first comics. There's also the potential of live action film and TV adaptations, animated adventures, and perhaps podcasts. Which way will they go? The one that doesn't pay anybody? I think I see that happening. They will be releasing digital versions of older Milestone stuff between September and February, probably to reintroduce the characters and the concepts.
They should release trades too.
Thank you. Did they ever release any Milestone trades?
I haven't seen them in decades. I don't even know if they ever existed. They must have, right?
You would
trades weren't as big when they were coming out, though, either.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, trades weren't really a thing, but God knows republishing things in trade format is long been a thing.
Yes.
And if you're going to do it, now is the time. Milestone, for those who don't know, because you probably weren't born when Milestone first hit the comics, was a line of DC comics that featured all original characters of color who at one time, I believe originally they existed in their own universe.
Yes.
That
I like the green.
Are these not going to be in their own universe now? Is it going to be part of DC?
I don't know if they've said, but they have been merged into the DC universe over time now.
That's the one thing that I would hate to lose, is that, like, I'd love it if they were just in Dakota in the DC universe and Static and Icon can still interact with, like, the Justice League and the Teen Titans and whatever, I
don't like Icon's new costume.
Yeah, I miss the
really like the green
thing. Yeah.
I miss that green cape. But whatever.
Yeah, Icon and Rocket, who were most recently seen on Young Justice. The highest profile character to come out of the Milestone line was Static. who had his own comic book and then had his own fairly successful animated Saturday morning series, Static Shock. Randy Green says that they did release Milestone Trains. They went out of print, and the lawsuits kept them from getting reprinted again. Yes, there was a lot of legal entanglement with Milestone over the years that has kind of like stopped them from restarting the line and restarting the initiatives. And I think many of those hurdles have been leaped, and that's why we're going to finally see them return to the comic book stands in February. So I'm looking forward to that.
No hardware yet. No hardware.
Was that not hardware in the background, I wondered, with the wing? He didn't normally have wings, but it looks like a mechanical suit. Like that was a mechanical suit though, right?
They just made a point in the panel of like joking about how no plans for hardware yet. But the creative teams are pretty cool. Like it's all OG. So Reggie Hudland is writing Icon and Rocket, and Dennis Cowan is drawing it, all the interiors and everything, which I thought was really, really cool. And Reggie Hudland is writing Static Shock. Or no, Dennis Cowan's writing Static Shock, but they won't announce the artist yet.
Did we see a picture of Static?
No, I'm sorry. Someone sent me this meme. Do you guys have you guys seen the Django Unchained Leonardo DiCaprio meme that's been going around where it's him and he's got his little snifter of wine and he's kind of laughing? Yeah. Someone sent me this just now. When DC holds a 24-hour event for all DC content, but it's mostly Batman panels. Oh, this is my favorite new meme. I think this is great.
Funny.
That's
Brandon,
so super specific.
Yeah.
Brandon, what's your take on the Milestone characters? Like, were you into Static when? Like, that's probably your only direct experience, right? Like,
yeah, I watched Static as a kid and really liked it. So I'm excited for that. And Icon and Rocket were in Young Justice a little bit. That's all I really know of them. So yeah, but I'm excited to see more of it. I'm probably going to try and check out this stuff when it becomes digitized. I'll probably try to read some of the older stuff. So yeah, but that's pretty much all my exposure to it.
What comes out first? The YA novel, right?
I think they said
besides the digital stuff. The digital reprints are first, right?
I'm not sure.
That's ramping up till February. But then they just were like nebulous about February being the comic and the YA and the digital first at the same time.
I think they might have said like it starts with like Static, I think.
One would think it would, right?
But is it the YA novel or the digital stuff?
It says the revival will kick off with a new digital-only series starring Static Shock.
Are they just calling him Static Shock now?
I don't know. That might just be the article editorializing.
I've never seen the cartoon. I was too old. I missed the boat.
Oh yeah,
good. It was a good cartoon.
It was cool. I only watched it honestly with Olivia because it definitely skewed younger than Justice League.
Yeah, it's not that wasn't my bag.
Those crossovers though, when he shows up like the future Static. To give you guys a timeline thing, I just remembered there was a crossover with Milestone and at least Superman. And maybe more. And they had he had long hair at the time. Superman had long hair when this was happening. Yeah. And there were like stickers that they were like static cling kind of things you could put on the cover. That you guys remember that?
I loosely remember that.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Brandon and I are just like, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Oh man, it was.
I'm telling you,
why would you put stickers on your comic?
Yeah, they were like these like.
I remember getting issues 1 of Icon and Hardware in the store and being afraid to open them and read them because I was under the impression that these were a big deal and super important and the first ever. And oh my God, I never read them. I just kept them. I still have them, I think, in my parents' attic in Florida.
I mean, now might be your time, like with them coming back.
I mean, they're probably just like yellow pieces of terrible paper.
Like a powder in the bag.
But I remember the poly bags were also designed. Like they made a big deal for the first issues of a bunch of the runs of it being the poly bag itself was sealed and it had an outline of like a different color and then the DC logo. And they actually advertised them as being, this has never been touched by human hands. Like they made it so prestigious and so important that as a kid, I think I was probably like 8 or 9.
Right.
I was afraid to open it. So I never read the stories because I was afraid to open them.
Oh, no.
But I wanted them.
In the early days of Black Tribbles, a fan, and I'm sorry, I don't remember which fan it was, sent us all mylared out in bags the first 3 issues of the entire original Milestone run.
Wow.
So it was the first 3 issues of each comic. So Static 1, 2, 3, Icon 1, 2, 3, Hardware 1, 2, 3, and I think there may be one other book.
There was a 4th one. What was that?
And I still have them.
Blood Syndicate.
Blood
Syndicate.
Yeah, Blood Syndicate. Yeah.
I don't remember that at all. What was the? I don't remember them.
That one.
Yeah.
I really got into.
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking at somebody wrote on the Bob Culp wrote. I think Milestone gets its own Earth and Multiversity.
That makes sense.
My Multiversity copy was right here, so I'm gonna look it up.
Here we go. Excellent. Let's go to the books.
Yes, it does. In Multiversity, that really crazy, insane comic book that Grant Morrison did a few years ago.
Oh, and speaking of, there's the Peacemaker.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, it is Peacemaker.
Oh,
Right
those
there.
are all the Charlton characters as Watchmen characters. See,
Right.
that universe, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because that part of that book is great.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have always wanted to go back and read this, and then I'm always like, tomorrow.
Yeah. Maybe in another universe, no.
Maybe. I don't want to quite step away because I know Noel is deep in looking up something for research sake.
That's all right. Keep going.
I wonder what costume they'll do. Oh, sorry. I thought you were looking for content there, Len.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. What costume?
I wonder what costume they'll do for Static Shock, right? Or now I'm doing it. I wonder what costume they'll do for Static.
Yeah. Just power through, guys.
Yeah.
Quit being so polite.
Right. But the TV show one, especially the second version of the cartoon one, was very cool. And he didn't, as I recall, have much of a costume in the comic run, like the original run. He had
the original cover. He's got the Malcolm X hat.
Got the Malcolm X hat. Yeah. And then just like a black kind of jumpsuit, right? Kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It certainly was not as comic booky.
Right.
As it would become.
Yeah, and he rode around on the trash can lid, which he did in the start of the show too.
Yeah, and then he got his own special one.
Gear helps him out. Yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah.
Flip, little Kit Cloud Kicker vibe on that one. Tailspin. But the newer costume, the second one anyway, is so well known and it's really cool. I wonder if and that's what they've done in the comics when he's appeared since. So I wonder if they'll go in that direction.
I just sent you guys a picture of the cover, and I don't know if that's the costume they're going to go with, but Static is on it. So I don't know if that's going to be the costume he actually has.
Guys,
But
there's in the Multiversity guidebook, no. There's no Milestone.
Dakota? Yeah.
Oh, I thought
What is
it
Dakota?
was. I mean, I read the book once, so I don't know.
What does that mean? What's Dakota?
That's the city. That's where they all live. Yeah. And they tend to refer to it as that.
It's the Dakotaverse,
Of all the Earths that are in here, there are 7 that are still unknown at the time. So 7 that aren't identified of the 52. But no, there's no Milestone in here. But there's some that I completely forgot about. They tried to make Earth 1 its own thing.
Yeah.
Like Gary Frank Earth 1. That's not a universe, but whatever.
Well, Grant didn't care.
Anyway, yeah.
Next on the docket, now there's one thing I'm going to call a producer audit here and go skip what's next on the docket and take the 2 things after that and smush it into one because there were 2 kind of like Shazam panels. There was one where they basically announced the title for the sequel to Shazam, which will be Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and it appears that it will feature Sinbad in it. You guys who saw the panel can speak to it if there was more to that.
Sinbad, the comedian. That's a joke, right?
Yeah. No, he showed up. So Sinbad showed up.
He showed up as a joke.
No, but they said, are you going to be in the movie? And he's like, yeah.
Because he's joking.
I don't think so.
Why was he there?
On a meme. It's all based on a meme.
I got the meme, but
because people misremember Kazam as Shazam, and they think that he was in it instead of Shaquille O'Neal.
Exactly, and there's been really fun bootleg looking memes and stuff, and I took it as just a long con kind of a joke. If he is like bus driver number 4 in the movie, sure, but I don't think it's a big thing, is it?
I don't know. I thought Sinbad was just alluding to this whole fury of the gods and them going back into, going back.
No.
I didn't know. So
90s Sinbad, not Jason and the Argonauts Sinbad.
Oh, well, then that would be terrible.
I mean, it was funny. Like, it was a really good joke, but I don't know.
I don't know. Well, then less said of that, the better. Then let's go to the second Shazam thing, which they actually did a teaser, if you want to call it that, for the Black Adam movie, which will be starring Dwayne Johnson, aka or formerly known as The Rock. The trailer was basically a bunch of production art with The Rock doing a voiceover,
infographic.
Give you the origin of Black Adam for the most part. And what was your takeaway from this, Noel?
It was like a commercial for a toy line. I don't know. It was just an infographic. It was production art that they just animated. It was like one of those
motion comics
trailers for the trailers for comic book series.
Yeah,
right.
It's like one static panel that does this.
Yeah,
during music or voiceover. That's literally what it was. It was cool because I'm kind of excited for the movie, especially the rest of the panel that kind of tells you how big they're going. Including Atom Smasher and the JSA and Hawkman. Like, they're doing a legitimate. It seems like they're doing a legitimate intro, or if not, a JSA movie.
Right.
Through the prism of Black Adam, which I thought was really cool. But the teaser itself is like, you get an idea of what he'll look like in a costume. Cool.
I'm worried, honestly.
You're worried?
Yeah, just because, The Rock is fine, but, he's an action hero. I don't know if he can do the nuance necessarily of Black Adam. And Noah Centineo, I've seen a lot of his Netflix movies, and he plays pretty much the same character in all of them. And I'm not really excited for him. He's going to be Atom Smasher. And I'm not really excited for that because, all of his movies are the, teen rom-com movies that Netflix does. And, you know me, I like those things, but they're not, great. And he's not a great actor in them.
The past is prologue, though. You know what I mean? Everyone thought Michael Keaton would suck as Batman because they always, he hasn't made the movie yet. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
I think I have no issue with The Rock doing whatever he says he could do.
Yeah,
because he's made me emote in his dumb movies. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think Rock has certainly done his share of films where he's not asked to do much but be Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. You know what I mean? But when he is asked to do a little bit more, he has shown that he's got the chops to at least bring it and make it reasonably believable. I mean, no one's expected him to win an Oscar. But for all intents and purposes too, every single interview he's done about this movie that they've been developing for the better part of a decade at this point. Right. He loves the fact that it's a nasty character. Yeah. Yeah. This is not. I hope that they're not going to try and whitewash the nastiness of Black Adam. He has been portrayed as a straight up villain, and he's been portrayed as an anti-hero. He's never been just misunderstood.
I don't think that was his answer. The one question that they asked was how powerful is he compared to the other characters, something like that. And the way that he was talking, he was like, the difference is he doesn't hold back. When Superman or the Flash go up after people, they hold back. He doesn't. And so I think that you'll get what you're looking for in that one, Noel. I think that he's going to be an anti-hero at best in some cases. And I thought they did a really good job with what they could do, which was basically just draw what they thought the movie would look like. Mm-hmm. And so I thought they did a good job with that. And I like the design, that lightning thing on the A in the title.
Logo, right?
Yeah, that was cool. I'm excited to see the JSA, and it didn't hit me until a little bit later. But I was like, oh, Hawkman and Dr. Fate also have strong ties to their ancient Egypt, but Kahndaq is the where Black Adam is from. It's the DC's like fake country in that area. Right. So I'm interested to see that too. Like, did one of them know him in the past? Like, I mean, Hawkman was a pharaoh actually, and Black Adam is portrayed as one of the slaves, one of the underclass.
Yeah, that is something that was kind of revealed in the little infographic. The idea that this is not going to be a movie in the past or an origin of anything. Like, it's about him waking up 5,000 years later.
Right, exactly.
Well, I think,
which I think is awesome.
Didn't Shazam show him getting released or something? I feel like there was some tease of that at some point in Shazam.
There was it was just all they did was see that there were 6 chairs and there's only 5 of them, and they're like, I wonder who that's for. And somebody makes a joke that I bet they're cool, or I bet they're just as nice as us, or some bullshit like that.
They are not.
Yeah, I think there's an allusion to it. The one thing, my biggest takeaway from this was, as long as this movie has been in development, and as long as you've seen, I've seen interviews of the Rock saying I'm still doing this, I'm still for Black Adam and everything like that. The Rock is signed on. I think the Rock is literally booked until 2050. He puts his name on anything and everything. So actually seeing this teaser and hearing him do the voiceover, which was, to me, was cemented. Okay, you actually are going to do something in this film. Yeah. So that actually was the best part for me.
Is there a release date, Brandon? Was there a thing or a year or something?
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was just coming soon.
Yeah,
I mean, the earliest would be 2022.
Yeah, I don't think they want to even mess around with a release date right now, with everything just getting pushed back and pushed back.
So Pop Cult just said Black Adam is giving him big Scorpion King energy. That's what I wanted to avoid, and that's why I'm glad it's not 5,000 like the Egypt times of him going bad. Yeah. I don't want that garbage. I want him waking up now, and that's why it didn't give me big Scorpion King energy.
Yeah. And it seems to have a real heart to its story. He is now he was an oppressed individual and now has a great deal of power, and then got locked up for that and is now free again. I don't remember what Scorpion King was about, but
Scorpion King was dumb.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it actually.
I just looked online and it looks like Black Adam is slated for December 22nd, 2021. So I don't know.
You know what? So they bang out movies. I have no idea how The Rock does it, but he has 4 movies a year because he just goes from one production to the next.
That's all he does.
So that's totally possible that they start filming before the end of this year and it's out next year.
Yeah, I think The Rock literally says, "I will take a vacation when I am 60." He just goes from one movie set to another movie set to another movie set. Let's keep it moving. Because actually somebody, who was it? I just saw in the comments, Christopher Goodnight, said, "Holy shit, you're still going? I had to leave." and he's come back. So yes, we're still here. Next thing I wanted to get into was back, especially with JD being back, there was a trailer for another game. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I don't play video games. I'm not into video games. I am into trailers. I love cutscenes from trailers. I love this trailer.
So good.
I thought, I was like, yo, why can't this be Suicide Squad the movie? Yes, I love because I saw this before I saw the James Gunn trailer. It's like, yo, if this is the movie, I'm here. I am here. This was so much fun. It was funny. It was crazy. But give us, Brandon, JD, the 30-second pitch on exactly what Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is supposed to be.
So it's going to be a game where it looks like from the trailer, it looks like maybe Brainiac or someone has brainwashed the Justice League. So the Suicide Squad are tasked with apparently going to kill them. And that's about it. It seems interesting that it's in the Arkham verse, which is a little weird because Deadshot was shown in that verse and he was white, and now this one's black. So that's a little strange. But also, Boomerang seems to have like traversal powers of some sort, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So he can catch his which is funny because the boomerangs are supposed to come back to you. So I don't know why he's moving, but yeah.
Captain
Well, I think that's just something you put into the video game to make that more interesting, you know?
Right, to make it like interesting to play as. The fan reaction is mixed because this is a game that's been rumored for a while to be the main games of the service game, which is what I was talking about earlier, where it's like loot boxes and like a lot of paid content over like every few months and stuff like that.
Right.
So people are worried about that. And also people are like, the world kind of sucks right now. I'd rather play as a hopeful Justice League than play as villains having to kill my heroes. So that's something that people aren't necessarily ecstatic about. But also just, as fans, you want to play as the Justice League, not kill the Justice League. So,
no, yeah. I want to play as Suicide Squad. I've played as the Justice League so many times. I've played as Batman so many times. I'm excited for this. I think it's a new and fun look at the Suicide Squad, the fact that you get to play as them and the goal is to murder the big dogs. And the cutscene is just phenomenal. All of the character designs, the animation looks amazing. I'm way more into this than I am any of the designs or the animations for the Avengers game that's coming up.
Me too.
There's something about the design, the facial designs of all of the characters in that they all just looked creepy and wrong. They don't look like the characters to me. So
about the Avengers.
Yes, yeah. But
like Uncanny Valley stuff.
Yeah. But this Suicide Squad I think looks like a lot of fun. I'm very excited for it. I don't really know much about what Brandon's talking about with regard to like the release and how you kind of pay for it. I'm not a huge gamer. I don't have a lot of time in my life for games. I buy a bunch of discs and then they sit around and then 10 years later I'll get to play it. So I don't really know what Brandon's talking about. It'll release in segments.
That's what we don't know for sure yet, but it's been rumored for a while to be a live service game. And the reason they're called that is because it's like a living experience kind of thing where the game changes over time, because usually they'll release like new content for it over like every few months or so. They'll release like new seasons sort of.
Oh.
And usually with games like that, sometimes you have to pay for those new seasons, which can be annoying for people because you're buying a $60 game and not getting the full experience.
Oh, and that's my next question. They're $60 and then you have to keep paying for it?
Mm-hmm. Usually it's like $10 or $20 a season, but those seasons come out every like few months. And then also those games usually have like different gear and stuff, and you usually have to pay for the different gear. Well, you can either play for like thousands of hours and get enough money in game to buy the gear, or you pay like $20 to get your cool costume and stuff. Now, none of that has been confirmed for this game, so I don't want to say that's for sure, but that's been the rumor for a while, and so that's why people are nervous.
Rob Patey says, me want gameplay footage before I can tell. And of course, yeah. But like as far as a cutscene from a video game, I thought this nailed it. Looked very cool.
And Bob Culp says the squad seemed kind of light. Would have liked to have seen Black Manta on the team. I will say I was kind of like also waiting to see like one or two more of the Suicide Squad kind of like pop up. But I would imagine this is a trailer that probably come up in the game, maybe to what Brandon says they'll be adding on. I don't know.
Those are the perfect type of things where you can pay $20 and you can play as your favorite Suicide Squad member.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. So I mean, look, it's also that is the world that we are entering into, gentlemen.
Subscription, but yeah.
So,
I think companies looked around at cable and cell phones and they were like, why not us?
Right.
Why don't we have people pay us every month? Yeah.
I actually yesterday here in Philadelphia, in where was it? Right here, around where I live in Port Richmond, there is a car wash that has a subscription service, $13 a month, unlimited car washes. You can. And
I have.
Does that work out to $13 a car wash?
I pay $35 a month for a monthly car wash, and because going once is like $22. So if I just go like 2 or 3 times a month, I'm fine.
Yeah. Well,
I get my car washed once every 9 months, probably.
Once every rainstorm.
I'm about to say
I get my car.
It's cold monsoon season.
Right.
All right,
Different strokes.
All right, now.
How many more do we have left?
JD, we've got two
Just two.
more, and these are the big ones. So which one do you want to hit first? We've got the Snyder Cut.
Well,
and
let's
we've
do
got
that
the
one
Batman
first.
trailer.
We should
Let's
finish
do
with
that one
Batman.
first. We'll go out on a high note.
Don't
with
talk
Batman.
over each other.
Yes, and I'm talking to JD.
Everyone was talking, so I missed it.
I know. Don't you hate when that happens, JD? I hate it.
So what he was saying is
And he was
that,
talking to me, Brandon. What I was saying
so what he was saying is that
is
there's
that we have two left. Which one you want to go out on? The Snyder Cut. oh, JD, you just made my dreams come true. We could go out on the Snyder Cut, or we could go. The Snyder Cut, or the Batman trailer.
Oh,
Where do you want to go next?
Let's do the Batman trailer.
Okay, very good.
So we're going to go out on something that everyone shits on.
Yep.
All right.
So the Batman trailer, Matt Reeves' Batman trailer. We got a teaser trailer for this film starring Robert Pattinson. It stars a Bruce Wayne reportedly in his second year. He's starting to make a name for himself. He seems to be trusted by the GCPD, led by James Gordon. We see Catwoman. We see what appears to be possibly the Riddler. We also show some awesome footage of Batman beating up a thug. We see the full look of the Batman costume. I actually like that they didn't play peekaboo with the costume in this trailer. What did we think of the Batman? Brian Lee.
Oh, we liked it, and I individually liked it a lot. So I was a little iffy about this. I'd heard a lot. He's going to do his take on Batman, and I just want to see Batman, right? And I was like, it's not going to be part of the other universe. Why can't he just be part of the other universe? So I was iffy. And why is it an all-black costume? I can't see the symbol. I saw this trailer. It blew me away. This trailer was amazing. You can see the symbol because it's a different reflective material, so that I like that part. He moves like Batman in that one. Oh, that fight scene that we were all talking about a second ago was amazing. And then the extra punches at the end is such a character moment for him. And presumably the crowd that was of other thugs that were watching him, hoodlum or henchmen, I should say. Phenomenal. The guy who plays Gordon,
Jeffrey
he's
Wright.
One of the best parts of Westworld, if not the best part, and I've seen him here or there. He's great. I didn't realize Andy Serkis was playing Alfred, so that's fun.
Oh,
and Pattinson is I think he's going to do a good job, and I like what Matt Reeves said about like the psychological. Who is Batman and Bruce Wayne in relation to each other, and that it's going to be a detective story. He's the world's greatest detective. What movie has done strong detective work? I'm pumped. I'm real pumped.
nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Noel.
Oh, I mean, I agree with everything. I like the idea that it's. I don't know. I trust Matt Reeves implicitly because he made me give a shit about Planet of the Apes.
Right.
So I'm down. The 20 minutes of him talking story and intention before showing the trailer, I was just in it because he was talking about all of these great things and inspirations that were very appealing to me, including Darwin Cook's version of ego version of Batman and Selena Kyle and how they're incorporating this version of the Riddler and how it's completely different. And then judging by the trailer, it's like a weird Seven-esque murdery Riddler. And I loved that it's supposed to be like year 2 of Batman, no longer a rookie, but still kind of figuring out where he fits making things on the fly. Everything's a little bit, it's not proto, but it's still just kind of, you know, version 2.0 as opposed to perfect. Mm-hmm. And I loved the very beginning of this trailer is them at a crime scene and Batman is there in daylight working with the cops.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is, I know that the version of that kind of was in The Dark Knight, where he was at least invited into the interrogation room specifically for Joker. But the idea of this police precinct, or this just like this PD that is so incredibly corrupt and inept, straight up inviting a vigilante into a crime scene was just so cool to me. I was like, oh, it's going to be this kind of movie. And then they kind of quickly show him fighting with a bunch of cops in an interrogation room or a holding pen, it looked like. Mm-hmm. And it made me excited for the idea of they're going to explore the broken process also, which I thought was really, really, really cool. And then, of course, you got the stuff of him in the suit fighting, which was just like, yeah, I dig it. I really, really dig it. This was great. And the music choice was fantastic. And the title sequence was so incredibly awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I was not a super big fan of watching the logo in just a picture of the logo with the red lettering and the back, you know, superimposed in it. But watching it in real time, it was epic. It
should be noted, they've only filmed about 25% of the movie so far. And this was the footage that they have from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like barely Act 2 shit. Like this is nothing, right? And it was so affecting. I'm very excited.
Yeah, shout out Bob Culp saying that he was excited to see Jeffrey Wright as Gordon. That's another guy I don't think I've seen do bad work in anything. Action figure expert says, I think this movie will be large. Do we think this movie will be larger than the Chris Nolan movies? I don't even want to get into all of that, because
what does he mean though? In scope, in popularity, in
popularity.
Popularity. Okay.
Who knows what he means? But to be honest, I'm prepared to just let it is still just a trailer. Two, to Noel's point, they've only filmed 25% of it, and three, I'm prepared to let it be its own thing. You know what I mean? So
yes, but how much money do you think it'll make?
Give us $1.
Give us $1. Closest to the closest cent. Go.
Brandon.
To Noel's point, well, so I liked it all, obviously, but especially to Noel's point about the cop stuff, I think that was good because they've said that the show, which is going to be in the same universe, they said that's going to be the year one. Oh. So that's going to be real fun, I think. That's something that excites me the most, is that like we'll see that how that cop department, like how it works, and we'll see how corrupt it is in that. And then this, I feel like, will be a kind of culmination of that. So that's something I'm real excited for. And the whole thing really excites me. I'm not sure, because they haven't even given a title for the show, so I don't know.
It's gonna be squishy. So I don't know if the movie will come out first or the show will come out first, but the show is supposed to be the depths of the corruption and shadiness that could facilitate a vigilante being welcomed, right?
Right.
So think of more, and not like procedural, like, you know, Law and Order, more so The Wire or The Shield. Some really gritty, nasty shit, anti-hero stuff with the GCPD, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and the show that you're alluding to is a show that is going to be set in the same world of the Matt Reeves, the Batman film. For my money, I don't know. I purposefully have not read a whole lot into the series that they're talking about. I just hope that they follow the model of it just being a one season and done. If it's going to be kind of like an introduction to this GCPD, that's great. I don't need to see multiple seasons of that. Just do one tight story and then just let that GCPD live in whatever the Batman movies are that follow in its wake, you know? But I love this. You don't see much of her, and she doesn't do much. But I do want to shout out Zoe Kravitz, who was also in here as the Catwoman. JD, what was your take? You're smiling.
I'm not sure what else I could say that hasn't been said here. I don't want to reiterate everyone else's thoughts, but I agree with everybody else here. I'm very excited about it. And Zoe Kravitz, I like the look of her. The first thing you see of her is she's got like her mask on, a Scully on, like a Scully cap, and then that makes the ears.
Yeah, just a little
which looks kind of cool. And just from the get-go, right, from jump, you've got the sound, you've got a black screen, and you've got the sound of duct tape being stretched out. And so I didn't even know what kind of Batman movie this was going to be, if this was going to be a year one. And I was like, is he putting together his outfit with duct tape? Is he duct taping his suit together? Is that the Batman we're getting? And then when they show the reveal of what it is, I think I was like, oh shit, that looks pretty great. So it's a very different look for the Riddler. I'm only assuming it's a Riddler because he rhymes, and then the question marks at the end of the trailer. It could be a different character, but I have a feeling it's the Riddler. Sort of a different look for that character, but yeah, I'm very excited. I think it looks really, really cool.
Even with billions of dollars. Oh fuck.
No, go ahead. No, go.
Even with billions of dollars and unlimited resources, duct tape is how you make your first costume.
Well, even with billions of dollars, what I was going to say to JD's point about it being year one and it still kind of works year two, is that his costume still feels very makeshift. Because when you see him walk up, when you're first introduced to him, you see his boots. And his boots don't look like some, highly floss polymer base, space age boot.
Yeah.
This looks like, Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah. I was gonna say he went to Hot Topic and got some.
Those are just steel tip Wolverines with like some padding on them.
Exactly.
Like he's got shin guards. That's it.
Right. And his costume still looks very, stitched together. The Batmobile is definitely just a muscle car.
Looks cool. It looks so awesome.
Cool. It's so cool. Yeah.
It looks awesome though.
What's the line in Dark Knight? I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Yeah.
What's the difference between you and me?
What's the difference between you and me? I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Also the training.
I need a lozenge.
Oh, speaking of things Batman says, that was a cool response to "Who are you?" I am vengeance.
Yeah.
That was a good play on the. Yeah, he says he's vengeance a lot, but this was a good way to do it.
They show him fight twice, technically. Like he has that weird little like scuffle with Catwoman, and I loved his very weird reaction of like, okay, all right. But then also the very quick put down brawler version of him taking down like that mutant, that street thug, was so effective. Not in a showy way, but like in an economic way. And that's how Batman would be, right? Not a flowy sidekick he would just like down.
Well, even just on top of that, he goes an extra 3 or 4 punches and then gets up and stares at the rest of the group like.
Exactly.
Right.
Because it was a message. Right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was message. Yeah.
I wonderful.
I mean, and even the costume, even the cowl as a pseudo, motorcycle helmet with, the whole black, like kind of like Daredevil look to the eyes, because it's all one color and stuff.
Is it the white eyes?
No, it's not.
No, he's just got grease paint.
There was one scene where like a still that looked like it, but it was a still image, so okay, I just wanted.
Yeah, no, it's not. He's kind of like got the grease paint, much in the way Sister Night does in Watchmen.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and it worked, but it because it worked because when you saw him without the mask, you saw the grease paint as opposed to when you would see it in I'm thinking of it like a Michael Keaton. You never saw the paint.
Right. Yeah, I love that. Twice in the trailer they show him post helmet. Like him actually take it off with messy as fuck hair and grease paint. I'm like, yeah. Like a mechanic in their garage. You wouldn't just see the car, you would see like the dirt on their hands and the shit everywhere. Like that I loved. Like I hate that every single version of Bruce Wayne, his Batcave is like an Apple Genius bar of just everything perfect everywhere. Like, no, it's messy work and he's doing things constantly.
Yeah.
There was a good skit. What was it? Pete Holmes was doing these skits called Bad Man. which were Batman skits, which are just hilarious. But there was one where he's trying to convince somebody that he's not Batman, that he's Bruce Wayne, and he like makes them turn around. And when they turn back around, he's got his helmet off, but he's like dressed as Bruce Wayne, but he has the grease paint around his eyes. Pretty funny. Bob Kolb, so this is exactly what I was going to bring up to you guys, and Bob Kolb beat me to it. Why do you think the street thugs are wearing Joker makeup? Is this movie post-Joker?
No.
Good question.
I mean, it's not in the Joker verse.
Yeah, I don't think it is at all.
No, I mean, I think he means, is this movie
Yeah.
post the, like maybe
A
he met the
Joker.
Joker in year one,
Right.
and this
Yeah.
is after the Joker already exists.
That would be interesting, and a cool way to show that, like, oh yeah, stuff has already happened, but not everything, and they could make reference to, like, oh, this is like that guy that you stopped. Like maybe his Joker is the one and only kind of named comic book villain that he's faced.
I don't know. I didn't think about it, but I don't know if they would just waste it.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean,
could be
if anything,
pre-Joker.
it would be like, if anything, I would like, there's this gang of clowns and some dipshit usurps it and makes it his. Like, I don't know. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
No, that's the first thing I noticed.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, why are there Joker goons?
I understood what you meant, Bob. Post Joker encounter this new universe. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Not post Joker, the film that is oddly celebrated. But yeah, I get it.
So we're looking forward to the Batman. It'll be hitting screens in 2021. I think it's Brandon or somebody said it's slated for October.
October 1st.
Those question marks, I think they were. I don't think that was a stylistic choice alone. I think that was like, we're not sure yet exactly when it's coming.
It's coming. Stay tuned.
And I thought it was cool in that way.
They're scheduled to go back to film next month. I don't think they're going to miss that October date. It was supposed to be next May, and then it was pushed to October. So it's. I don't think it's going to be one of those movies that misses the next date. They're not doing the just add 2 weeks. Just add 2 weeks.
Right.
Like they immediately wait 6 months. Yeah.
All right,
And they're mostly filming in
2 hour and 50 mark. You get 10 minutes to talk about the Snyder Cut.
Which is all we need to talk about the Snyder Cut, ladies and gentlemen, of Justice League, which will be coming your way to HBO Max sometime in 2021. They released a trailer, as much as they could, of the film, which shows gives you looks at the Flash saving Iris West, the death of Silas Stone, the father of Cyborg, a destroyed Hall of Justice, Black Suit Superman, and what appears to be Darkseid, pre-Omega Sanction. We don't know. But Darkseid is in there. It gives you certainly gives you the sense of the story of the film is much different than the film that we saw released, and it's what everyone was waiting for, to see exactly what the Snyder Cut will reveal. Brandon Jackson Shorts, how'd you feel about the Snyder Cut, my man?
I liked it. I'm real excited for it. I liked all the things that they showed. I'm excited to see more of it. There's going to show more of Cyborg, apparently. That was something Snyder was talking about a lot, which I think is going to be real cool. All in all, I think the worst thing about Justice League, I know everyone's going to dunk on it in a sec, but I think the worst part of it was that it was two competing visions in one movie. And so I think now that there's going to be one vision, whether or not, I'm not saying it's going to be a perfect movie, but I definitely think this is going to be much better than what we originally saw. Also, I liked, whatever the villain's guy, whatever his name was, I liked his new look. I know you guys are going to say you don't because it's all CGI. Personally, I think, Steppenwolf. I think it was much better than what was originally shown. I like the black suit. I don't think it really matters that much. I know people are excited about it. I don't think it matters that much either way. But yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you. That's fair. That's fair.
I am also excited.
For the film?
I agree with Brandon. I think everything he said is right on point.
Yeah.
The Justice League was a mess because there are two different people, hacking it together. And I'm at least excited to check out what was supposed to be, or at least as close to what it was supposed to be as they're able to get, posthumously.
Yeah. With that said, too, what it was supposed to be in its most bloated format, because it's no longer a movie, it's a miniseries.
It's going to be a miniseries, yeah.
I'm into that aspect of it.
Oh, no, I think that's cool, too. It's just, like, this is the 88th iteration of what the Snyder Cut was supposed to be, and blah, blah, blah. This is what you're going to get. I'm very excited for it. I really, really want to see it. My reaction to the trailer was visually, looks like a Snyder movie. Pretty cool new stuff. The song was awful. Or the placement of the song was absolutely awful, and it pissed me off.
Yeah, same. I was like, "Oh, come on!" How pompous.
The visuals were spectacular, and it reminded me, which I haven't thought about this in a very long time, but it reminded me of the opening credit sequence to Justice League, and I was just like, "God fucking damn it!
Yeah,
why?" Like slow motion. Awfulness.
Guys, I think I gotta go. I gotta go do something. So,
all right,
bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
So I have found that there is a segment of I'm not talking about everyone who wants a Snyder Cut. Making this clear. I think that there is a segment, a subsect of the Snyder Cut people who I call Snyder Bros, who are extremely toxic. And if you happen to even mention the word Snyder on Twitter, they descend on you like parademons. And I always wondered what is it about this that brings out such toxicity? And if you don't like it, you're wrong, and you just don't understand it, and you're not smart enough, and blah blah blah. So someone had tweeted, Scott Mendelson had tweeted this tweet. So that trailer for the Snyder Cut of Justice League looks like the same movie, lots of deleted scenes from the marketing campaign, but otherwise it looks like alternate takes of existing scenes. To which I think that is a pretty even-keeled response. Like, oh, okay, it looks more of the same, right?
Right.
Zack Snyder also, he did not, as far as I'm aware, Scott Mendelson did not at Zack Snyder.
Right. He
Zack
just put
Snyder
out his thoughts.
Went searching for people talking about his movie. And when saw this even-keeled response to it, he decided to, is it quote tweet? He quote tweeted him. And he said, "You said you enjoyed the theatrical cut of Justice League like you enjoy your Saturday morning cartoons, ... Well, this is made for grown-ups, so you're not in the demographic. Also, cool of you to comment on a leaked teaser at Scott Mendelson." And it's like, no wonder there are so many toxic people responding to this film when you've got the leader, the guy behind the movie, calling other adults babies for having an even-keeled response to his movie trailer. I was flabbergasted when I saw this. I thought this was just the douchiest thing.
The right response probably would have been, first of all, don't go searching for your mentions. The appropriate response probably should have been like wait till you see the movie and you'll see just how different it is.
Yes.
Let's have a conversation later.
I can't wait to change your mind with what we're doing here. I think you're really going to enjoy what we've put together. Not, you're a baby.
Now, in fairness, you did give a lot of intonation on one very positive and one very negative. Now,
that's true. I read it a certain way.
How are you supposed to articulate all caps, which is what Snyder actually did respond in?
Even for Mendelson, though, like you read it in a very sympathetic voice.
Hold on, I'm gonna redo it. Hold on.
Okay.
So that trailer for the Snyder Cut of Justice League looked like the same movie. Lots of deleted scenes from the marketing campaign, but otherwise it looks like alternate takes on existing scenes. And then Zack Snyder replied, "You said you enjoyed the theatrical cut of Justice League like you enjoy your Saturday morning cartoons. Well, this is made for grown-ups, and so you're not in that demographic. Also,
so
cool
instead
of you
of
to comment on a leaked trailer."
So
a lot can be done.
So
a lot can be done.
It moved from being toxic too condescending.
Yeah,
So
damn
yay!
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's
not
still
saying
shitty.
I'm not saying there's a positive way to read the response necessarily, so much as the other one is it's just like, how do we deal with this in society? Text-based communication. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By not
That was a great point, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I have a question for you guys too, and I don't know the answer. Does he respond this way to other critiques of other movies, or is it like he's upset about the Snyder?
This is the first time I've paid attention to a Zack Snyder tweet.
Okay.
He notorious, like, at least when it comes to this movie, he's notoriously pretty harsh and pretty defensive.
I wonder
understandably
how he feels about like Joss Whedon did all this stuff to my movie.
Well, I mean, like, for all intents and purposes, Joss Whedon was just a fucking here's a paycheck and do these exact things we want you to do.
For sure.
Cool, whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, was that smart? No. Was it good? No. Did he rip art from this man's dying chest and piss on it? No. So relax.
Right.
Just relax.
Yeah.
All the dunking on Joss Whedon is just so silly because if anything, he's devoid of morals when it comes to somebody else's art, not the villain. Who cares?
I think it's more the studio, like you said. Yeah. Anyway, regardless, I just wanted to know if he felt like particularly sensitive about this one, just to get a fuller understanding. No, about this movie, just to get a fuller understanding of his. Picture,
he's definitely sensitive about this movie. For sure.
Yeah, he didn't get to finish it.
Yeah, for sure.
Which the overall concept of being able to finish your vision, 100% down with it.
Yeah.
The other overall concept of being a toxic piece of shit in order to facilitate that, not a fan. Sure. Not a fan of it all. So even if this is literally poetic motion and the best thing that's ever been put in my eyes, it's still going to have that stink of you are all assholes during this.
Yeah.
So why?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether or not I will say that he was an asshole about this.
I'm talking about the fandom.
Oh, okay.
You were assholes about this.
Oh, yes. Well, yeah. Well, but what do we expect? So I'm fine. The trailer itself, it was fine. Look, everyone knows. Yes, I thought the song choice was offensive. I really did. I was like,
so bad.
I was like, are we serious? Are we doing it?
I have a question.
I think Patty.
Is this the same record drop that he did for Watchmen, the sex scene?
It's the Jeff Buckley version.
Yeah, it's the same song.
Watchmen. This is the Leonard Cohen version.
Yeah.
Same song.
Same song.
It was terrible in Watchmen, by the way.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud in the theater.
Yeah. Well, there he was, they were fucking each other, and this one he's just fucking the
himself.
That was the worst needle drop in like modern film as far as I'm concerned, because it's such a recognizable song and it was so out of place, and the way that he filmed the sex scene was like outtakes from Showgirls where people are like flailing and in slow motion. I'm like, there's nothing romantic or cathartic about this, which is what it's supposed to be. This is literally like high art porn with a terribly realized music choice. Hallelujah.
I would say the follow-up to that would be I'm Just a Girl in Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Well, at least
another one where we all went, oh, Jesus.
That was thematically on the nose. That's why that was offensive. This is just like Patty put it in earlier. He mentioned it was like these like needle drops are like a 13-year-old thinking he's deep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my my takeaway from, I think, Zack Snyder's entire oeuvre.
No.
Yeah. I just the trailer itself, I just didn't care. And it looked to me like this is going to be okay. I'm all for a guy being able to finish his vision. So congratulations. And he's be able to talk a studio into bankrolling his fan film. Fantastic. But to me, that's what this is. This is basically a fan film. it's not like it's going to be canon or anything like that. It's just he's getting the opportunity to finish his vision. I didn't necessarily like where he was going with his story in the first place through the first points of it. I liked Man of Steel. BVS, I still think is an unmitigated piece of trash. And
every cut of it.
Every cut. Well, to be fair, I haven't seen the extended cut. To be fair,
I haven't. It's the same movie.
No, it's a little bit better.
I've heard it's a little bit better because but whatever.
80% more plot.
What's canon is what was released, and that was trash. And from what I could see, the Frankenstein that was Justice League, was his vision always 4 hours? I don't think he understood the homework assignment. I don't think he did. I really don't. I truly don't think he did. Thank you, Rob Patey, for that needle drop. Perfectly timed.
Well, it was 2 movies actually, right? Wasn't his original thing? It was like a 2-part, 2-movie story.
Was it?
Yeah,
but
that was my understanding.
That was adjusted well before they even started filming.
Yeah.
It was made one.
But maybe he's going back. Like maybe he's like, "Ooh, I can do more of that than I want it now." I don't know. But
it's all bullshit. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to watch it because I'm contractually obligated to watch these things. So I will be watching it, and I will be hoping for the best, honestly. But when I heard that it was a miniseries, I was like, so he's got more time? It does not sound like it's going to be a good time at the old HBO Max. Yeah. But
see, when I heard that it was a miniseries, that's what I was hoping for, was miniseries. Partially just because, like, oh, cool, a miniseries that's like a cinematic quality of miniseries kind of thing.
Maybe if you're getting back together for reshoots, but they're not.
That's true. And time will tell. Like, we'll see how much that affects it. And if we're like, oh, I never would have known, or, oh, these 4 scenes were really bad because of that, or whatever. Who knows?
Also, too, like,
ooh, Carl.
It could be as awkward and shitty as reading what should have been a complete graphic novel versus being separated into weird issue stopping points. Like,
maybe
I'm gonna watch the first night and it's just like mid scene or mid something. It's just like goes away and I'm gonna wait another week. Fuck that.
I'm sorry, they're not doing any reshoots?
No,
they have said that they are not. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But he may have. I mean, they're getting $30 million. He may have the stuff that he needs and doing CGI. They may end up doing reshoots that they don't plan on doing. Who knows?
So, actually, apparently, they're not doing physical reshoots. Period, because that would require different paychecks, different insurance policies, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. So they're not doing physical reshoots. Period. No. They may do some ADR. And they're using all raw footage from before because apparently like that 12 weeks of additional footage that was shot for the Whedon cut is only used like 25 to 30% of what he originally shot for Justice League.
And what's ADR? No.
Additional recording? Additional dialogue.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, dialogue recording.
I, for one, am more excited than I wasn't a huge...
Bob
I wasn't
Cope
a huge.
Is not a fan of Dark. Excuse me. Sorry, Bob.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brian. Bob Cope said the Dark Side looks horrible in this. I think he looks like Michael Chiklis, the Thing from the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four movie.
I disagree. I think that Michael Chiklis is the Thing. Looked like a delicious bowl of Diggums or Golden Crisp, Super Golden Crisp.
Oh, I thought it was like orange pops, like the cereal pops. Yeah,
he looked delicious.
I'm more excited for it. Like Batman v Superman, I was like, oh, that wasn't what I was looking for. And then for some reason, and maybe partially, it's only recently, because I never thought it would happen. I was like, you guys are barking up a tree that doesn't exist here. It's not going to come out. So I didn't pay much attention. And recently, with stuff that he's talking about, like, there's going to be a ton more Flash in it. I'm into that. And the scene that we saw from it was cool. The thing with him saying, like, oh, yeah, I wanted Superman to go on this journey that I know JD has been a sticking point for you with his depiction of Superman. He seems to maybe have thought this is where that would happen.
Great.
That kind of thing. And that one clip that we saw of Superman, I know it was like half a line of dialogue, which is itself a line of dialogue. He sounded like Superman, and I thought that was cool. You remember when he lands and you must be Alfred. I think he says.
Oh, okay.
I just got a feel from how he was playing the character. I'm excited about the black suit because it's a comic-y thing. I'm into it.
You know what?
I didn't know Randy had joined the show. Go ahead.
The Superman arc, this was always the idea, and he's going to be the Superman I mean, okay, but it took you 12 hours of filmed content to get to that point.
Thank you.
I'm just talking about this movie. Like, I was not excited at all, and now I am.
Yeah, but if the super arc of this character was supposed to be Man of Steel, BVS, and then Justice League, that's like, and they're all incredibly long movies. Like, come on, that's literally, that should have, the core of who Superman is as a character should have been like Act 1 of movie 1, and then juxtaposed against the darkness of the world, not grimacing.
But if it's not in Man of Steel, which I was willing to buy, that the change was going to come, after the end when Superman creates, the ultimate and kills Zod.
Yeah.
And now he's that's when he makes his decision. I'm never going to be that guy again. That flip definitely should have come in BVS.
See, I think from what he has said, it sounds like he was thinking of that flip happening when Superman dies and then comes back. Like in the Joss Whedon movie, that was like, we should bring Superman back. And then it's done. And then he's angry for a little bit. I think it sounds like that's going to be a much more like character changing moment for him. That was like, what's happening? Yeah.
Every time I think about that stupid fucking scene, it makes me think of how much Zack Snyder does not understand who this character is. He would never allow his father to get sucked up by a tornado. The power of it was the fact that he died of something that even with my insurmountable powers, I cannot avoid a heart attack. Like
what Noel is alluding to, ladies and gentlemen, is that Robert Payton put on a comment that he's the guy, speaking about Zack Snyder, who lets Superman's father get killed by rain and has Superman basically standing there watching it happen.
And Pa Kent just like, no, stay there. Puts his hand out like some sort of mage. And
that was a bigger problem for me. It was like, what is this?
That was like the first problem. Or that was like the 10th problem, actually. Like their relationship from before was like, maybe you should let them die. Like,
all right, we're at 3 hours 10 minutes. We're not going to go over Man of Steel and BVS.
Right.
Yeah, we'll be here till Tuesday. But that was DC Fandome, ladies and gentlemen, and I think a lot of those trailers and news and articles and panels are still up there for you to watch on YouTube. So go check them out for your own. We hope that you liked our little run through some of the major highlights of the event. I think overall this could be a vision of comic conventiondom to come. Certainly for the near future. So just sit down and enjoy. And the way they look, according to the internet, everybody was locked in watching it. So, so if you didn't like everything, at least they got your eyes, most of them anyway. All right. Well, that's Gutter Talk.
Gutter Talk!
Thank you, because my throat is definitely dry on this one.
So I have a couple of things.
You're a lozenge.
Later this week, we've been doing the Thunder Rounds. On the spoiler alert section of the podcast. I have a couple coming up that I'm going to be doing because I already have Batman the Three Jokers #1. No, you can just come. You're a block away, bud. And then Len, nobody else cares about this, but me and probably Randy definitely cares about this. But my first version of Superman in the comic books that I ever experienced was actually the John Byrne Man of Steel.
Oh, wow.
Back from the 80s. Look at this.
That's how dare you say I not care about that, sir?
Oh
yeah.
It's a nice hardcover. And my open copy is at home, but it's got the nice dust jacket. And then my favorite thing when they do a hardcover is they actually have full color images on the hardcover itself. front and back.
Yeah.
This is a great looking package. I'm really excited to dip back into this. I haven't read it since the 80s. So, but yeah, when I went from Christopher Reeve and the Superman films and being like, oh, I wonder what he's like in the comics. This is what did it. This is great. And
I can't wait to see what you think of it, having reread it.
Yeah.
As someone who's just going back and reread John Byrne's Fantastic Four run. So I'll be interested to see what you think of.
What are
John
your
Byrne.
thoughts?
Did you like it?
Yeah.
The art was fantastic. Some of the story concepts were great. His writing was a little stilted. It was
Better or worse than Claremont now in hindsight.
Oh, he's better than Claremont.
Okay, cool.
He's better than Claremont.
And then I'm gonna do I don't know, maybe Nolan and I could team up because I just finally finished this Black Widow complete collection by Mark Waid and Chris Somney. And boy, oh boy, if talking about earlier, what is a good book to pick up for a certain character? Anybody who comes in liking Black Panther, or Black Widow, this is it.
Yeah. I had that book on my shelf. Great
so
book.
Good.
So incredibly good.
So anyway, also you can tweet at me at JD's Hero Complex. You can come down to my shop and join me here, 4327 Main Street. Noel, where can we find you?
You can just find me on the social medias at Mr. Bartocci, which is right there in the thing there, BARTOCCI, or on the CultPop channels and/or hanging out at JD's shop.
Yeah, Brian,
when you gonna let me know when you're gonna hang out there? No, I got a little bit of free time on my hands now, so I mean, I'll come down and hang out.
I'd swing by myself.
Also, Len, I have a copy of the first Avengers trade from back in March that you paid for, so it's here for you.
Then I will definitely be there to pick up my comic book.
Brian,
I have some from you too, JD. Also, next week we're going to be doing our show book club, right? So,
that's right.
Yeah, we're going to be reviewing Volume 1 of a comic that Noel is getting right now, and that comic is Lucifer by Mike Carey.
The
and Peter
entire Lucifer series.
Yeah. So you all
I don't know
have
if you guys
read
have read it yet. Yeah, and this is just Volume 1. Let's do all 100 issues.
Let's do it. So if anybody wants to catch that, we're actually doing Volume 1 of the trade, which is significantly less. I think it's about 20 issues, something like that. 16 maybe. Anyway, I can be found at brianleibdesign.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No.
No, he just did his.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey.
It's been 3 hours. Yeah.
Yes. You can check me out on everything Black Tribbles, ladies and gentlemen, at Black Tribbles on all the social medias. Check out our podcast, every place that podcasts be. You can check out our live stream. We do our regular Thursday radio show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. The Black Tribbles, we go live. And we debuted a new podcast last week. Every Monday at 9 p.m., we will be live streaming on YouTube and as well as on Facebook. The Safe Tribble Travel Guide to Lovecraft Country. As we review HBO's Lovecraft Country. So check that out every Monday at 9
That's
p.m.
fantastic.
First episode was so good.
Oh, it was.
I wish, if I can go back in time, I wish that I didn't watch this season on Lovecraft Country. Because that I had no idea where the story was going to go, and now I have like inklings, and I wish I didn't because it's just so wild. Yeah.
See, and people laugh at me when they I'll watch one trailer for something, and then that's it. I don't watch next week on.
Well,
I don't want any inkling.
I didn't even really intend to. It's just that they've been pushing this show hard.
True.
So during the DNC that I was watching, literally every commercial on CNN was a trailer for Lovecraft Country.
That's true.
It was like, okay.
Synergy.
Yeah.
Synergy is
Synergy. Go ahead. Sign us off, Len.
Yeah, we got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Please email us any of your thoughts and concerns. You can email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com or blacktribbles@gmail.com. Support the Patreon of Cult Pop. You can go to Johnny Destructo's Patreon to support the show. That goes to help Spoiler Alert as well as Gutter Talk. If you want to help the Tribbles, you can go to blacktribbles.com. Go to Swag. We got a whole lot of fly Pie Negro stuff right there for you. You can check out and buy and put on your shoulders or
you make that?
legs.
That's like you produce that shirt?
Yeah.
All our swag is brought to you by T Public. Check it out. Go to blacktribbles.com and hit swag. You can check it all out, ladies and gentlemen. That helps us support our little show. And we've got a real big event that we will be doing in 2021. We're not ready to announce it yet, but we are putting some fine-tuning the announcements, and when it drops, it will drive you insane. It is already driving us insane. We cannot wait to drop this news. We plan to drop it within the next 30 days.
So if you want to be insane, be sure to hang out.
Stay tuned to Black Tribbles. All right, we got to get out of here. For JD, for Noel, for Brian, as well as for Brandon, this is Len the Bat Tribble signing out. And as always, we say, JD,
boogada.
As always.
Every time.